Hey, hello there. Hello.
Hi, you all right?
I am. And hello to everyone that's watching.
Hello.
So, is it time to take the decorations down?
Oh, yes. Let's do it, shall we?
Shall we?
We're absolutely going to start taking the decorations down because we are going to be talking all about houseplants during this one. So we're going to remove some of the Christmas decorations and we're going to add in some beautiful houseplants.
Because it's always that moment, isn't it, when you do take the decorations down. Suddenly you look at your house and it seems so bare. And by putting some new houseplants in your home, it can make such a difference. I love houseplants, and we've got a great choice today. Lots of different varieties and lots of different sizes, small, medium, large. We've got some great deals, some buy one, get one free. So, yeah, the wreaths are going.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the plants are coming. Oh, yeah.
We've been very excited to bring you this show because we do a lot of gardening shows, a lot of outdoor plants. But, yeah, this is all dedicated to filling your home with beautiful greenery and, you know, gorgeous plants.
And I think a lot of our customers and viewers don't realise that, yes, we have got a fantastic selection of houseplants. And the good news is, pretty much all of them today are easy.
Yeah.
No divas.
No, not too many divas or anything at all. A lot of these have been designed to be very, very easy. And the beautiful thing about having houseplants is that you can actually help purify the air in your home. And some of them are amazing at doing this.
And I think it's fair to say, when you can't get outside as much in the winter, it's just nice to still be surrounded by greenery, isn't it?
I love having plants in the house, absolutely.
Now, I'll be honest, I've always grown houseplants. I know most houseplants very well, but the full names I'm not as good with, and you've gemmed up a bit, haven't you?
I've gemmed up a little bit. I'm going to try and impress you.
Because some are really long. I'll do the common ones. There's a yucca for you.
Absolutely.
Peace lily.
We've got a peace lily. We've got a pineapple plant. We've got, this one.
This is the only one I haven't grown, you know.
I want this one in my life. This is the medallion prayer
Look
plant.
at the leaves on that.
I'm totally in love with this one. I've got aloe vera.
Yeah, and you gave me one of those.
I've got lots of aloe vera, and I've also got the snake plant, or the
mother-in-law's tongue. I've got a couple of those. So, what a lovely selection to start with. These are our medium-sized plants. Now, we still have an offer code, you'll be pleased to know. And the reason why you want to use that, we have got some buy one, get one frees. So you will need to use that on some of the offers. So always put that in your basket, whatever, and it's YGTV 52 today.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really important, that offer code we have on every single show that we bring you. It does change on a sort of weekly basis, but it's really important. We call it the magic key. It unlocks all of the amazing deals and gives you lots of savings.
Yeah. God, we've got some lovely plants, haven't we?
Yeah. I'm excited about this one.
Oh, and if you're super quick, we have got an offer where you get free postage when you spend £30 or more. That does finish soon, doesn't it?
It does. Unfortunately, at the end of December, that one is going to go away. We do have more offers. There'll be different ones coming in January, but that one, unfortunately, at the end of December is going to disappear.
Yes. Right. So we're going to start with a plant that you've got, I've got.
Yeah.
I've always known this as mother-in-law's tongue. And we were talking about, you were researching where that name came from, weren't you?
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit mean, to be honest with you, but it's to do with the kind of sharp, pointed leaves that can be reminiscent of a mother-in-law's tongue. I think it's a bit mean, a bit harsh, but anyway, it's a bit fun, isn't it? It's a bit fun.
It is. But the full name, Bex?
Sansevieria trifasciata laurentii.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
I've been learning well.
You wouldn't be able to say that on some of the nights at over Christmas. You'd had a few.
Yeah, I'm going to struggle. Let's just go with the snake plant or mother-in-law's tongue, because that's very, very easy to do.
Now, I think they're a very dramatic plant, don't you?
They are very dramatic, but the wonderful thing about these, I have found is, and I love saying this about a lot of plants, but this one absolutely thrives on neglect.
Yeah, totally agree.
You don't want to do too much to this one at all. This one's incredibly easy to overwater, and you don't want to do that. Honestly, I have not touched my snake plant for probably 2 months. Haven't watered it, haven't done anything. Obviously, we're into winter months, so the majority of these do go dormant anyway, so they need less watering over the winter months. But this one, you do not need to water this one very often at all.
Great. So great when you go on holiday.
Oh, fantastic if you're going on holiday. You can leave this one alone. And it's actually quite tolerant of low light as well. Now, it does want light, and probably best situation for it is bright but indirect light. So you don't want it right in a south-facing window
you don't need
or
scorching,
something.
do you?
No, because it will scorch. But actually, it is tolerant of low light as well. So mine actually is placed, and I'm going to move it for another reason, and I'll tell you about. But mine's placed right in the middle of the living room, where there is no light. So there's a conservatory doors over that side, and there's the windows over that side, and mine's in the middle. So it doesn't get much light at all.
But it's okay.
It's absolutely fine. But if you want it to grow, get bigger, yes, you want to put it in a bright but indirect light source.
Mine are in my hallway. I have them as kind of like statement plants there. And yeah, they get a reasonable amount of light, but nothing direct. And you're right, sometimes I've not watered mine for a long time. The only thing I've found, if I really do neglect it, then the odd leaf starts to flop.
Yes.
But that's when I've really neglected it and not watered it for a long time. But I love the fact that they're so easy. And I always top water mine.
I always top water mine as well. When it gets a water, I top water it. And in fact, you can see
some new shoots.
Some new shoots coming through on this one. There's a little one just on this side here. And that's what happens. You get multiple shoots coming out of the pot here.
Now, I always think the leaves look a little bit sharper than they actually are.
Yeah, they're not sharp, are they?
They're not.
They're really not.
Yeah, but they're not as sharp as your mother-in-law's tongue.
No, they're not. Mine actually isn't this variegated variety. Mine is
oh really?
Yeah, full green colour. So I don't have that variegation going on mine. So this one's a bit more interesting because you have got those lovely creamy stripes going around the edge on here.
But really easy to look after.
Oh, very easy. And so this is why I'm going to move mine, because this is absolutely brilliant at taking toxins out of the air. You can read up on this, like NASA have done loads of studies on a lot of the plants. So this can take a lot of the toxins out of your home. So, we use aerosols and sprays and things like that. It can remove those, or like fireplace smoke and things. But what it does is it will then release the oxygen at night time. So not only will it purify the air, but this one's really good at storing that oxygen, and then at night time it will release it.
So I've got an idea where this is going to go.
This is going to go in my bedroom.
Yeah, great idea.
I've decided to move it into my bedroom because I struggle to sleep at night, and apparently, do your own research, read up on it, but if you're releasing that lovely oxygen into your air, into your bedroom at night time, that can be great, can't it?
I just think plants in general just create a better environment. I love being surrounded by foliage in my home, and I've gone off buying flowers now.
Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, if somebody bought me flowers, I'd be happy. But flowers only last a week or so.
Yeah.
They're expensive now in the UK, aren't they? So to me, having plants out there all year, just giving you that feeling of well-being is an absolute must. It's amazing what a difference a few nice plants in a room can make, actually.
Well, I love being outside. I love being in my garden. But on those days where you can't get out, because there are some days we can't, the weather's bad, or you just, physically don't want to go out there, it's lovely to bring the outdoors indoors, isn't it?
If you're somebody that thinks, I'm no good with houseplants, that is a great one to buy. 800 265 at £21.99. And postage is included on that one.
Fabulous.
As well. Now, the next one is one that I know you've got because you gave me one of the little babies, didn't you?
Yeah. I do love the aloe vera. It is an incredibly architectural, beautiful, classic plant. It's a succulent. Again, this is one that actually does thrive on quite a lot of neglect. It really doesn't need too much help or too much assistance. It is a desert plant, so that does mean it, thrives on that neglect and actually a lack of water. You don't need to be constantly watering this one, and if you do, you'll get the root rot going on. And it does tell you, because sometimes the leaves might turn a little bit brown, and that can signify overwatering or underwatering, which
that's helpful.
Can be a little bit tricky, but you'll know if you've been constantly watering it and the leaves start to turn brown. There's a chance you've been overwatering. But the trick with this one really is leave it alone. Allow the top of the soil, inside the pot, to dry out. You want to feel inside there. The top 2 to 3 centimetres need to be dry before you then water it, and that's my secret to success. I've now got, I need to count again, and I've given a few away, but I know I had over 20 at one point, and that's from one aloe vera plant, because they create pups. Yeah. They create babies, and then you can separate the baby from the mother plant, repot it, and that's how I've gone from 1 to over 20 at one point.
And talking of which, by the way, we have got the infamous spider plant coming up later, haven't we?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we get
that
loads of...
does lots of babies
Yeah,
as well.
This, we should point out, it doesn't come in the white pot, so it will arrive in a 14 centimetre pot, like so. I'll just be careful to take that out. And we have got these available on a really good offer. We've got 2 different sizes.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, a little baby coming there.
There's a little baby.
You're right.
There's a little baby.
There you go. So the white cover pot, we are either doing the 15 centimetres at $5.99. I should point out that, by the way, it's a buy one get one free as long as you use the offer code. They're really stylish, really lovely. So that will fit a 15 centimetre pot, and that is 130472. We also have got a 12 centimetre available as well. That's for our smaller house plants that we're coming on to a little bit later on, and that is only $3.99 for 2. And again, a buy. It's really good.
Yeah, these are great because obviously they are watertight. So you just put your pot inside there. It means that you can water freely without having to ruin anything in your home.
You don't want water kind of spilling out on your windowsill or anything like that. No. So the smaller ones are available. The bigger ones, which are perfect for these plants, up to a size of 15 centimetres, and that is 130472. What I will say is, try and get your order to over £30 and you'll get free delivery. So do bear that in mind. Try and get your order to over £30 and you'll get free delivery. Now, I've grown every plant here apart from 2, and this is one of them.
Yeah, me too.
Oh my word, we were like talking about this before the show. The leaves, the markings are stunning.
I am absolutely enthralled by this plant. I think it is one of the most beautiful foliage plants that you could grow in your home.
Look at these.
I mean,
beauties.
check out one side of the leaf has that beautiful kind of feather pattern on it, and the other side of the leaf has that gorgeous burgundy colour on the bottom there.
So look at it.
Isn't it beautiful?
I mean, these are just spectacular, aren't they?
I'm totally in love with the
They
colour.
almost look unreal, don't they?
They do.
Look at those markings.
I think it's the most incredible one, and it's one I definitely want to be adding into my collection. Now, apparently the purple underside, we believe that it could have been evolved in order to assist the plant to absorb more water. And more light, because their natural habitat will be, bottom of a rainforest floor or something or other where there isn't much light coming through. So as the light travels through the green part of the leaf, the purple part then reflects it back up. So it's actually, in essence, absorbing potentially double the light rays. It's very, very interesting once you look into the kind of science and the biology of plants. It's really, really botany. That's the word, isn't it? Thank you.
So I've never grown this one. What sort of light does it need then, Bex?
Well, this one needs. So it likes actually a humid area. So this one's going to
bathroom. I'm thinking.
Probably going to be great in a bathroom. It doesn't get massive either. It's a nice size, and I like the upright growth that we're talking about. We're talking about maybe 2 feet by 2 feet is what we're talking about here. That this one will get. Generally, the rule with pretty much everything we're bringing you today is bright but indirect light. So yeah, you want it by a window, by a light source, but if it's the brightest light, if it's a south-facing light, you don't want it to be baking from it. So maybe a metre away from it, or what you can do is you can diffuse the light with like a net curtain, basically, and that helps to diffuse the light so you don't get the scorching going on the leaves.
I think that is absolutely stunning, and it has got £7 off today as well. What about watering?
Top watering. I just thought, sorry, it's a prayer plant. So this one actually has the wonderful thing where the leaves furl up.
Yeah.
They fold up at night time, and then they open up during the daytime. So it's the low light where it folds up, and it's the bright light where it opens up. So this is quite an interesting one to have because you've got that added bit of drama that happens with this.
I have definitely got my eye on that one. So it is a medallion prayer. Water from the top. Again, does it like a lot of water?
Yeah, I mean, you want the surface to dry out, basically. You want the top few centimetres of the plant to dry out before you water this. But this is probably going to require... I'm not going to say this one thrives on neglect, like I would with your snake plant or your aloe vera. You're going to want to keep an eye on this one a little bit more.
I think that is absolutely gorgeous. And imagine that in your home. Where's it going to go?
Yeah, where are you going to put it?
Because I always think some of you may have taken your decorations down, depending on when you're watching the show. Some of you might not have. But I always think when you do take your decorations down, the house can look a little bit bare. And sometimes you just want a fresh look for the new year. And that is going to give you something absolutely beautiful, isn't it?
It really is. is.
What a great present for somebody.
The only other thing that I would say that you need to do with the majority of your houseplants is you're going to want to wipe the leaves.
Yes.
Because they do get a lot of dust on them, don't they? Obviously, we're in the house because the air is moving less. And
not in my home.
not in your house, obviously, no. But yes, just a damp cloth, wipe over the leaves because it stops that dust build-up happening. And obviously a dust build-up on there will stop that photosynthesis process happening. So all you need to do, damp cloth like that, and also maybe with this one, because it likes a bit more of a humid environment, mist it a little bit. Just a spray, water bottle, give it a little spray.
All the plants, by the way, are on a website with full care instructions as well.
Yeah.
But we've picked selection that, generally speaking, are pretty easy to.
Yeah.
But I've never grown that one. So
I want this one.
Yeah.
This is the one that's going in my basket.
It's just stunning,
I
isn't
adore it. I love the shape of the leaves. I like the patterning on the leaves. I mean, it's called the Medallion prayer plant because it curls up, but it's got a couple of other names. You might have heard it as the peacock plant or the zebra plant. There was another name for it as well, and I've forgotten what it is. But yeah, the peacock plant is because of the feather pattern that you have on the leaf there.
I can't believe I've never had one of those. Beautiful.
Lovely.
Right, something I have had before.
You had this one?
Yeah, I got it from the garden show. It's quite a few years ago, and it was just such fun growing a pineapple.
Yeah.
Yeah, a real pineapple.
Absolutely, it's a real pineapple that you will be able to cut off and you will be able to eat.
And it was delicious. I remember.
Was it?
Yeah. Although what I did with mine, I actually grilled it.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. I bet that's nice.
Nice. Really
once you get the little black bits on it.
But we should say every one of these does arrive with a pineapple growing.
It absolutely does, yes. You will get one with a pineapple on there. You're going to leave it on there, let it get a bit bigger. It won't get as big as, commercial pineapples, but you will get a decent-sized pineapple on there that you can then pick and eat. This isn't to be confused with the smaller ornamental types that you might find out there that aren't actually edible. This one is an edible pineapple.
And again, we have got a £5 saving today. It's down to $14.99. Now, I think this plant, if you've got maybe children, teenagers, whatever, that are a little bit into gardening, they want their own house plant, I think it's quite a quirky one.
Yeah,
It's
definitely
bit
quirky, bit interesting, just a bit unusual. And once the pineapple is gone, you can sometimes get another one to grow. But often, after the pineapple is gone, you've just got a really interesting foliage plant in
which
your
is still
house
really
as well,
nice.
which is great.
I'll be honest, I kept mine for many years with just the foliage.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
But it's just so weird seeing the pineapple, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they said they will all arrive with a pineapple already growing.
Yeah, look at that.
I know.
How cute is that?
It's beautiful.
Love it.
I love pineapple, don't you?
Yeah, I love it. It's really sweet, delicious fruit to grow. Absolutely delicious. Do you put pineapple on pizza?
Oh, I love having pineapple pizza.
I love a pineapple on a pizza.
It
divides opinions,
Stu,
though,
our
doesn't
director's
it?
like, oh no, but I love
It divides opinion.
Yeah. Ham and pineapple pizza with cheese.
I love that.
I mean, it goes cheese and pineapple. How we had that over Christmas, cheese and pineapple on a stick.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
It's a really good combination.
When my mum does her 70s buffet.
70s themed buffet.
Cheese and pineapple on a stick.
You'd have a potato, wouldn't you, wrapped in tin foil?
Yes!
With cocktail sticks.
With cheese and pineapple.
Cheese and pineapple and some cheese with silver skin onions on.
Yeah,
delicious.
Yes! That's your 70s buffet.
Love it. Let's do it again.
Yeah. Well, I still do cheese and pineapple on sticks. I love a 70s buffet with the vol au vents.
Let's move that pineapple out of the way a little bit.
Now, another plant that I have got, in fact, we've both got this one, haven't we?
Yeah. Now, me and my peace lily fell out, but actually they are quite easy to look after, but you do just need to get the right spot for them. That's all. I didn't have the right spot for mine. I think that was the key.
No, I maybe shouldn't tell you this story.
Always tell us the story. You've started,
Well,
so you
a
have to finish.
friend of mine bought a peace lily when he got divorced.
Oh, really?
He finally felt at peace with his life.
I mean, fair enough.
I'm not going to name who it is, but yeah. Had a turbulent marriage.
Oh dear.
Turbulent marriage, and got divorced. And actually didn't realise the plant he bought was a peace lily, but he just liked the plants. But he did find peace. Have you seen the price on this one?
I know.
That's
It's $7.99.
really good.
That is a really good price.
Now with my peace lily, it is in the right spot. It gets quite a bit of light, but not direct.
Yes.
But when I forget to water it, it does let me know.
Well, this is what I love about this particular plant, because some house plants, they don't tell you when they're thirsty, when they need a drink, but this one absolutely does. So once it needs a drink, what happens is the leaves just start to go like this.
Yeah, it goes a bit floppy.
They start to just flop and fade, don't they? And then all you need to do is give it a little water, and probably within an hour or two, you will see it start to perk back up again. So I love that. So you don't risk over-watering your peace lily, because you just wait for the leaves to just droop a little bit, and you know it needs a water.
But even when they're not in flower, it's really lovely in terms of foliage. But when those white flowers open up, I think there's something really elegant about this plant. It is peaceful, isn't it?
It is. It's beautiful. And those flowers,
look at those.
which actually aren't the flowers, they're called the spathes, I think they're called. But anyway, everybody talks about these as being the flower.
Yes, of course, you're right there.
Yeah, but yeah, they're absolutely gorgeous, and they last such a long time as well.
They do.
They last for weeks, if not, I mean, I want to say months. I'm just thinking about my peace lily. I've got 2 flowers on it at the moment.
No, I think you're right. They do.
And I'm pretty sure they've been on there for a couple of months.
Yeah.
They do last a really long time.
And I love the leaves are really glossy on this one, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're beautiful plants.
Really glossy, really evergreen, nice shape as well, nice size on here. And this was the other mistake I was making with mine, was that I was watering it just with normal tap water. And this one, this is where I do call this one a slight diva. It wants distilled water or rainwater.
Do you know what? I've never given mine that.
Haven't you?
No.
Well,
and it's done fine.
I have started, because I started getting the brown tips on the ends, which can be a sign of many things: lack of light, too much water, too little water. But yeah, I think it's because I was using tap water, and there's chemicals in there that sometimes they don't like.
Okay. Well, I might move on to rainwater and see what happens, but mine's been fine. Really has.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, by the way, don't you think this one really looks good in our white pots?
It looks beautiful.
I think it really lends.
It doesn't come with it, so that's how it's going to come to you in its pot here. But yes, you can get these if you want them as your cover pots.
And the value of these is incredible. Now they are a plastic, so they're nice and lightweight. As Bex says, obviously there's no draining holes in there, so you can water your plant freely and not worry about water running out. But they're really simple and stylish and elegant. And for today's show, we are doing a buy one, get one free. Don't forget, you do need to use our offer code, which is YGTV52, and that will open up all the promotions. And if you are spending over £30 today, you will get free delivery.
Yeah.
So it's often worth just getting your order to that £30 to say goodbye to any postage and packaging. I think that to me is a really fresh look for 2024.
It's beautiful. And when I did add houseplants into my house, there were 2 staples that I bought. This is one of them, and the yucca was another, because they are quite easy, but they grow to a really nice size as well. So if you want to fill a space, I mean, mine's probably double the size of this now. It can grow up to 1 metre, but I just like the way that you get these sprays, these arches from the foliage that come off this. It's I don't know, it's quite zen, it's quite peaceful, peace lily.
And what I can honestly say, because I notice that sometimes you worry about plants when you go on a holiday and things like that, but this one, if you do go on a holiday for a couple of weeks, yes, it would miss you and say it might flop a bit, but it's amazing how they bounce back.
It is amazing, and honestly, I have not watered mine at the moment because we're in its dormancy, we're in the winter months. It's probably been 3 weeks since I've watered mine, maybe even 4 weeks. It's not telling me it needs watering yet. In the summer, it needs a bit more regular watering, but it's fine.
A friend of mine who she's not really into gardening, but she does ask me for advice. Hers hadn't flowered for a while, and I just gave her some of our Blooming Fast.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
And then it started flowering?
It did. It took probably about 6 to 8 weeks, but it did start to flower.
Yeah, well, mine stopped flowering, and it was because I was doing a few things wrong. It wasn't getting quite enough light, and I was using the wrong water and blah, blah. And now that I've changed a couple of things, I've got flowers coming off it.
That is a beautiful plant, isn't it? Love it. Right, should we go big?
Yeah, let's go big.
Come and join us over here.
Shall we?
Lovely to have you coming. Now, we've got yuccas coming up next.
I love yucca.
Yeah, I do. We've both got yuccas, and my word, these are easy, aren't they?
They're so easy. So this is another one, thrives on neglect. You don't need to do too much to this one, but it's instant drama, instant effect, instant greenery. It definitely takes a focal point. It can take pride of place in your home. And also, again, it's another one that doesn't need too much light at all. You know, you can have it in a slightly darker area in the house, and it's going to be absolutely fine.
Now, the only choice you need to make today, this is the 2-stem. which is, it's only $19.99. So you've got two main big stems, obviously with all of the shoots, and then the one that Bex has got a little bit more to this. You've got three stems.
Yeah, you've got the three stems here, and this is what they do with yuccas because it just adds a bit of extra interest. So it's multiple plants planted into the same pot at different heights. So this is great because you get the greenery and the foliage kind of going all the way down and overlapping. As it grows, it gets new foliage, and the old foliage just kind of fades here and comes away, and that's what then forms this trunk. So you get the height coming from this. Mine, I have got, it's sort of near the front door, so it's got one source of light, so it's starting to lean slightly. These bits at the top will start to lean towards the light, so you just need to clock it occasionally, just give it a little turn so that it grows in that lovely sort of even shape.
What amazes me with yuccas is for quite big plants, they actually seem to do well in a relatively small pot.
They do.
Don't they?
They do,
yeah.
actually. In fact, are these the ones that they actually quite like to be root bound? Yuccas, I think, yeah, these are the ones that like to be a little bit root bound. You don't want to go too large with the pot.
I mean, I'm thinking about mine are massive, and yet, they're not in huge pots.
No, you really don't need to.
I do give mine a feed now and again, though.
Give them a feed, give them a mist, and also, for sure, you do need to clean the leaves on this one. And it just requires, I get a wet cloth in two hands, and I just go along the leaves like this. Do be careful when you do it.
Because they're quite sharp.
They are just a little, I mean, they're
not really sharp.
Not really sharp.
If you catch them on the wrong, if you
just a little bit down the edges here. So just a cloth on either hand and give them a wipe like so, just to get rid of the dust that's on there.
Now, watering, I do sometimes forget to water mine, but I'd say on average I water mine every 4 to 6 weeks, I would say.
It's certainly at the moment.
Yeah,
Certainly
yeah,
during
but you're
the
right.
winter.
More in summer when it's hotter and things.
Definitely in
I'd
the
say
winter.
about every 4 weeks at the moment in my house.
This is one that is easy to overwater, so you do want to be careful on the watering. Again, it's one that you're going to check the top of the soil. This one, it feels nice and damp right at the top here. This one definitely doesn't need watering. The top needs to be dry before you give that a water.
It's a general rule, but I think most people kill houseplants by overwatering rather than under.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes. Yes.
Because what a lot of plants, even my yucca, because mine's big, when it needs water, it does look slightly droopy.
Yeah.
And I'll say, because mine, honestly, some of the heads of mine are like this, but just now and again I'll look and go, oh, it looks a bit sad, give it water, and it again.
Springs back into life, yeah.
But they're just, I think architecture, they're brilliant. I think I'd go for the triple stem for the extra £10.
I think I would, yeah. I mean, it is only an extra £10, and as you say, as I said, with the three stems, because they put them in at varying heights, you get the foliage going all the way up, so it just looks a bit fuller, and it will always look a bit fuller.
By the way, don't forget, oh good, I've got my board.
Oh yeah, I left the board there.
Yes. Because sadly, this promotion finishes at the end of December.
December, yeah.
So early January, this is no longer available. But right now, if you spend over £30, you'll get free delivery. Now, something like the yucca, £6.99 delivery because it's big, it's heavy. But one other item, we've got some little, some smaller houseplants coming up.
Yes, absolutely. If you've got a smaller space, you don't want all the big architecture that we're showing you. We do have some smaller ones coming up. Any one of those you could add in, and it will take you over that £30 mark.
Yeah, or anything on our website, to be fair.
Yeah. Just make sure you put the code in. It's really important to put the code in, otherwise it won't apply the free postage offer.
We have got also, obviously, compost available, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got a couple of different options.
Yes, we have. So the one, if you want looking for peat-free, we have got our houseplant Focus peat-free repotting compost. Because sometimes, you'll know, your houseplants do need repotting.
Yeah.
And again, they probably let you know when they're looking a bit sad, if they're not really growing much, if they've stopped flowering, then it's probably time to repot them. And this one is a peat-free one as well.
Yeah, it's peat-free. It's got sterilised soil. It's got coir. It's got composted fine bark and wood fibre in there as well. So this is going to be lovely, loose texture, nice and free draining, which is pretty much what you want for the majority of houseplants.
And we should say the double-up deal on that one is brilliant because it's one for $7.99, but for an extra £3. I don't know why my voice went a bit funny there. £3 for an extra. It's like accent came in there. For an extra £3, you can get an extra bag there as well. So just to remind you, the other yucca option is the one in front of me, which again it depends what room it's going in, how big your house is. But the twin stem is in 1999. And when you look at all of the shoots on these, There's loads.
Yeah, there's so much on there. I mean, there's several years worth of growth on there already, but you'll get so many years of growth out of these, and you know they'll grow steadily and they'll grow to 2.5 meters in height, but it's going to take a long time to get there.
I mean, I've had my yuccas. Never just thinking I've had them years.
Yeah.
I really have. I mean, mine are huge though now.
Yeah, they.
Yeah. They really are. In fact, we've just had a conservatory built, and one of them's gone in there because it had outgrown the lounge.
Right, okay.
But they are years old.
Takes a while to get that big, but they're beautiful when they do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, mine are many, many years old. Then we have got coming up, by the way, a little bit later on, we've got a brilliant deal. We've got a 6-pack of houseplants coming up later. And there's a great selection in there, isn't there?
Yeah, wonderful selection. Nice mix, different shapes, different sizes, different textures, different colours. It's been put together specifically to give you such a variety, but also these are pretty much... Yeah, these are all really easy ones. These are low maintenance, don't require a huge amount of time and attention. These are not what I would class as divas at all.
No. But we have got some buy one get one frees coming up as well. Do you want to start with banana?
Yeah, let's do it. Well, we've done pineapple, so let's bring in the banana, shall we?
Got the money plant coming up as well.
Yeah, I like that.
Boston fern.
And the ficus, which is like a mini
like a bonsai, isn't it? Yeah.
Got that, like that one.
I only know this as a spider plant. There's a long name for it. Bex has been gemming up. And then we have got a double up deal. This is really good on the banana plants.
Yeah,
this is really good.
Yeah, this one's super interesting. So this is your compact dwarf banana plant. Now, if you want a lush, tropical feel in your home, then yeah, you need a banana plant in your life.
No, I've
Definitely.
got the big version, and it's huge and it's too big for...
Is it? Massive, yeah.
Well, mine's in the greenhouse at the moment because mine's one that I keep outdoors, but it's slightly tender, so it's in the greenhouse at the moment. But these are a compact variety.
They are a compact variety.
But they look identical, don't they?
They do.
Yeah, apart from the size.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're going to grow to probably a metre, maybe, metre and a half, potentially up to 2 metres in height. It'll take a little while to get there. But it's the size of the leaves on here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because this is what really gives it that gorgeous, luscious, tropical feel. Now, this is absolutely one that's going to want some light, bright indirect, but some direct sun will be good for this. It's just the young leaves can easily get scorched on this. So, while it's young or when it's got the fresh growth coming through, that's where you just need to be careful of the direct sunlight. I think it'd be great as a conservatory plant. In fact, in your new conservatory, this one would be fantastic because of the light that you'll get in there, plus the humidity that you will get. You can take these outdoors in the summertime as well. You just need to gently acclimatise them when you're doing that, so just a few hours each day, but that's absolutely fine. Put it in a sheltered spot. And this one is another brilliant one for cleaning the air of, the pollutants and things like that, and improving the oxygen in your room.
And I think that's really important, particularly in the winter when you maybe don't get a lot of fresh air, when the windows aren't open as much.
Yeah, absolutely. And just think about, what you bring, what's in your home. You close the doors, we spray our hairsprays and deodorants and this, that and the other. There are a lot of pollutants in our home, and this is a natural air purifier. That's the word I was looking for.
And I do think, just in general, having houseplants around you just feels good. If you love gardening, I'm sure many of you watch our regular YouGarden shows, and you love your outside space, you love your gardens. So the winter can be a difficult time for us gardeners. There's still things you can do outside, but obviously not outside as much. So to have some lovely greenery and some lovely plants in your home, it makes me feel good. I've got lots of house plants. You could argue too many, but no, you can never have too many.
You can always argue that.
It is a double up deal, and postage is included on this one as well. So one for $9.99, two for $14.98. We have placed one of ours in the white pots. These are great, and we are looking at one. So I'm just going to give it a little wipe there, apologies. One for $3.99, but we're going to get a free one as well. So they're really good, actually.
They are really good.
They're really simple, clean, stylish. I'm not being funny. Look at the difference. That And then suddenly you put it in a pot that's actually only costing you $1.99, and suddenly that's really stylish.
Yeah,
isn't it?
the white really does make it very stylish. And also, you know, that white's going to fit into any colour scheme that you've got in your home. That's why this one's great. And this is going to fit, by the way, any of the plants that we've got on this table,
Yes.
you know, that we're going to show you now.
Because they're all in...
They're all in the 12 centimetre
Yeah.
pots, aren't they? So that will fit any of these ones that we're bringing you. Can I just talk about the banana plant one more time?
Yeah.
Just there was just a little top tip on this one, which is it's a thirsty plant. It wants a lot of water. You've got to think this is native of Southeast Asia and Australia. You know, it does need a lot of water, and this is also why it likes a lot of sunshine. But the top tip I'm going to give you is room temperature water, because the cold water can shock the plant.
That is a good tip, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, room temperature water.
Yeah.
Not straight out the tap. It's a bit too cold for it.
That makes sense.
Just a little top tip.
With a lot
I don't have many, but some of them are useful.
I think with a lot of houseplants, you just have to appreciate where they've come from, what their natural environment would be, and try to recreate that in your home.
Well, it's exactly the same as doing it outdoors, isn't it?
Yeah,
I just think we're up against a few extra factors indoors, aren't we? That's all. I quite like working out what a plant needs, actually.
Yeah, same here.
More so with my indoor plants than my outdoor plants.
And when you get, because I never used to be very good with houseplants, and I have got loads now, and it is, as you say, just working out where it wants to be, which room, what temperature, how much light, how much water. Once you know, you've got it, haven't you?
Well, this is the thing. I mean, when we're talking about the aloe vera, for example, I feel like I'm an expert on aloe vera. I'm not, but I've just had them for a long time. But I realised that, I had them all in the windowsills at the front of the house. Now, that is northeast, it's northeast facing. It wasn't doing well in the northeast facing windows. I moved the aloe vera to the back of the house, to the southwest facing windows. All of a sudden,
oh, I'm happy.
It's happy. And it was just that one move that made the difference. So I love working out those little things.
And we do have, obviously on our website, we always have loads of helpful information with all of our plants. But we've moved on now. I've always known this as the spider plants.
The chlorophytum comosum.
Yeah, it's really funny. When we got the list of plants on the show, I looked at a few and I was like, I don't know that. And then when obviously when we did our research, it's like, oh, it's that one.
It's that one. I was the same. I was looking at the names thinking, what's that? Oh, no, I've got it. I've grown that.
There you go.
Of course I know it.
But we know this as the spider plant. Now, when I grew up in the 70s, got some great reviews by this, by the way. Oh, on the website, you don't get the buy one, get one free. No.
Oh, no.
Right, you do on the YouGarden TV show, buy one, get one absolutely free. Now, as a child, there were two types of plants that we had. Spider plants and, what was the other one? Trichoscantia, I know it as. It's...
I don't know if I know that one.
It's like a trailing one with purple leaves.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know it.
There were two plants that we had in the 70s. Spider plants went out of fashion, and then suddenly a lot of the 70s plants, this last few years, they're like right back in, aren't they?
Yeah.
You're back.
Well, listen, these are, I mean, they're just phenomenal plants, aren't they? They're great to put on up on a shelf, or even, my mum used to have those lovely, like, crocheted ceiling hangers.
Yes,
that's a proper 70s thing, isn't it? Like, and you could put the pot in it, and it would just hug it, and it would hang from the ceiling. These are great for indoor hanging baskets, because these trail, and they look absolutely beautiful.
And when we say trail, they get the babies on stems.
Well, yeah, and they get really long.
Yeah.
The kind of babies that come out, and it is like a little baby on the end, just hanging there, and you just chop that off and put it in some compost, and it's so you can easily, just like with my aloe veras, you can go from 1 to 20 really quite quickly, can't you?
And the choice is yours. Some people cut the babies off. They don't like the look of them. Some people keep them on there as long as they can, so you've got the babies hanging down. But yeah, if you want to propagate them, it's so easy.
You can really quickly and easily.
And what is nice, because I think gardening is all about sharing. My spider plants come from one of my oldest friends called Jane, who, this is a bit naughty, but she was on a holiday somewhere.
Right.
I think she was at I shouldn't really tell you this, but she was at an Airbnb. I think she was at an Airbnb, and this spider plant must have been in the room, and she just took a little baby off it because it had loads of babies. A bit naughty on her. And then
I don't think they'd have minded.
And then she grew it on, and then that had babies, and I've got some of those, and mine have had babies.
Yeah.
So it's great to share plants, isn't it? But I think when these have babies, it's wonderful. And because these are established, so these should be. I think they're ready to give birth, don't you?
There, you'll get babies on those next year. I mean, they won't create babies now. I don't think they're probably a little bit dormant. But yeah, they like to multiply.
They do.
They want a bright but indirect sunlight. They're very, very low maintenance. Little bit of water. I think this one sort of tells you when it needs a bit of watering. It's not too. This one is not tricky at all, and it just needs light watering as well. By the way, the top needs to dry out, so just feel in the top of the pot. If it's dry, little bit of water.
And you're right about. Oh, there you go.
That's it.
So that's Stu, who's our head of technical here. That's his, and his is a lot.
Word,
Look at
there
that.
are so many babies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, there's 20 babies on there, isn't there?
Thank goodness they're not all children. We'd never be able to afford to feed them, would we?
Wow.
20. God.
That's lots.
Yeah, but they really, you literally just snip them off. I normally put mine in a little glass of water to roots, but you can put them straight into compost.
You can put them straight into compost with those, they're quite easy.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, it's a great plant, and honestly, it's so back in fashion. Many of you will have had this in the 70s, but it's right back on trend right now. And I do think when they have the babies, as you were saying, if you've got them, the actual main plant high up on a shelf, it's nice to see those just trailing down, isn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful, honestly. This is why it needs to sort of go somewhere high, I think, on a shelf. For, as I say, I mean, one of those retro hanging baskets indoors would be amazing.
Yeah.
Love that idea.
Now, Bex did say about them not liking direct sun, and I did have one of mine where it got too much sun. And
it scorched, wasn't it?
It did scorch. Yeah, he survived, but I had to move it to somewhere where it got a little bit less of that direct sun. It was getting full afternoon sun, and it just wasn't very happy.
Yeah, and you can diffuse the light, so it's not necessarily that you have to move the plant. You could just diffuse the light. You know, you can get light diffusers, you can stick them onto windows, you can get like it's a bit like a net curtain, which will diffuse that light and stop it from being quite so bright.
I know you love your net curtains.
I don't really like a net curtain, but there are some lovely,
There's
classy
some
ways of
now.
doing that.
There's some trendy net curtains now.
I just remember those net curtains that went a bit yellow. And
that's what see, everyone smoked when I grew up.
That's the problem.
Yeah, so my mum, I remember
They all went yellow.
Net curtains would be a nicotine brown.
Yeah.
But the spider plant is well back in fashion. Now this is a lovely plant. I've got these in my bathroom.
Yeah, that's a great bathroom plant actually. Look at the foliage on there, isn't that exciting? The Boston fern, it's absolutely glorious. Definitely a recognisable and one of the most popular house plants that you can get. It actually grows in the wild in South and Central America and the West Indies actually. And its native habits are kind of humid, dappled shade places like swamps and forests and things like that. So this one is definitely going to want a humid environment. So bathroom, perfect.
Now I never missed mine, but then it gets a lot of moisture.
Yeah, so because it likes humidity, this is where you need to keep an eye on it. So a bathroom or a kitchen potentially, because those are naturally quite humid places
in our homes.
So if it's near the sink
and you're always like running the taps and things like that.
You don't need to worry about it. But if you want your Boston fern in your bedroom, for example, which might not be as humid an environment, then yes, this is where you would potentially missed it. Yeah. So it's just about thinking about where in your house you're putting it and what the plant's needs are.
Now I know the other week on one of our shows you would talk about how you like a bath, and I remember it now. You said you've got one of those tray things, and you'd have your iPad. You'd be watching YouGarden TV.
Shows.
You'd have your glass of wine there.
That's it.
Some lovely music.
Because I did it the other night, I nearly took a picture to show you.
That might have been too much, Bex.
Yeah, it might have been.
But do you have plants in your bathroom as well to relax you?
No, and I should, actually. I should in that bathroom because it gets a lovely indirect sunlight. So a Boston fern, I just haven't paid much attention to that bathroom. It's got an old peach. It's a proper, in fact, it's a 70s bathroom.
Really?
Like I could
is it oyster? Is it an oyster?
It's a proper oyster pink. I haven't replaced. It needs replacing. I just haven't got the money to do it yet.
No, hold on, because that'll all come back round.
I could go proper retro
proper
in
retro,
there and get like the hanging basket things. I could get a Boston fern. I could get my spider plant in there, and it would be absolutely beautiful.
I know the avocado bathroom is slightly more in again. It is. Things go around but the point is, plants in your bathroom can really, I think, can make them such a better place to be and to relax.
And if you do like having your bath, it's beautiful. And if you get those moisture-loving, those humid-loving plants in there, then they're already in their perfect environment, and you don't need to worry about doing the misting.
I love Boston ferns. I really do.
Yeah, I like the foliage on here. Actually, it's really interesting, isn't it?
And it is a buy one get one free. These are amazing value, by the way. So $8.99 for 2 of those.
Well, I would definitely get your buy one get one free, obviously because it's free. But also, I would give this as a gift because ferns are a symbol of good luck and said to bring prosperity and abundance to its owners. So if you were to give this to somebody as a gift, that's a wonderful gift to give them.
Yeah, it's like, well, let's hope you have a prosperous 2024.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you for watching today, by the way. It's our very first houseplant show. But YouGarden, we all say gardening's for everyone, and that includes people without gardens.
Yeah.
Without big gardens. Maybe, I mean, there's a certain garden show that I love to watch with the name World in the title. And there was I remember one episode where there was a guy that just had a flat, no outside space, but he created a living wall of plants.
I love living walls.
It was amazing.
I think that's incredible. I'd love to do that.
We do have a Wonderwall system on our clearing show, actually.
Oh, yeah, because you could do that with your indoor plants, couldn't you?
But I always think that plants just make such a difference. They feel the atmosphere and the look of any room in your home. Right, we're going to move on. You love this one, don't you?
Well, I love a bonsai.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of bonsai, and I have one of these actually in my home. It's a bit bigger than this. I've had it for several years now, but it's very slow growing, and it's just, you know, if somebody's into bonsai, this is a great way to start to get them into bonsai because it's so simple. This plant.
So this is an easy one.
Dead easy.
Because sometimes, I don't know you, but I've been I've sometimes seen a bonsai and it's looked amazing, but it's been like really expensive. I'm like, dare I spend £80, £90?
They're amazing.
Yeah, they are.
They are.
But this is a simple introduction to bonsai, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a really, really simple introduction to it because this one it brings a little bit of zen into your home. The roots of the ficus ginseng meaning root, by the way, in Chinese, are grown for, a good 10, 15 years before being finished in the greenhouse as bonsais.
Wow.
So this one has already had a long life before it even gets to you. The reason it's an ideal starter bonsai is because it's really tolerant of a range of conditions. Again, I've got one of these that just doesn't. I've moved it all over the house in quite dark places, actually, not a massive amount of light, and it is fine. There was one time where I noticed it was losing you'd give it a little shake, and quite a few leaves came off. I was like, that needs some attention. Something's not quite right there. So I stuck it somewhere light for a little while. I gave it a little bit more water than I was giving it. It's fine. It's absolutely perfect. So yeah, if you want to get somebody into houseplants or into bonsai, this is absolutely brilliant. It does like good light, but as I say, mine's been in some quite dark places, and it's okay. You can take it outdoors during the summer as well, but it just needs to be. You don't want it to drop below sort of 12 degrees, basically. As long as once it gets that cold, you need to bring it inside. That's kind of it, really.
It does.
Easy.
It does come in, obviously, like this. It's got postage included, by the way, as well, with £3 off. But it doesn't look great in our white pots.
I love that.
And these are only $3.99, a buy one, get one free. It just freshens the whole thing up and makes it look really, I think, really sharp and really professional, doesn't it?
I do, yeah. That white pot is classy. It's just classy.
Yeah, we really like those. That's nice, that one, isn't it? So if you want to go for those, buy one, get one free, 130471. Right, our indoor plant journey continues.
Can I impress you with the name?
Yeah, go on.
Tenanthe Burl Marxii.
Tenanthe Burl
Marxii. I know.
That's
Begins with a C, so it's weird.
That's a nice name,
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I quite like it.
Yeah.
Well, it's also known as the fishbone prayer plant.
That's what I know it as, yeah.
And that's because it's got the lovely kind of fishbone.
It's like fishbone, yeah.
Fishbone markings on this side, and it is a prayer plant as well. So this is another one that's going to fold up its leaves and unfurl its leaves and fold up its leaves and unfurl its leaves. And it does that for a few different reasons. It's got a name as well. It's called Nyctinasty. Here's another fancy word for you. But it has multiple purposes. What it does is it allows the plant to absorb as much light as possible in the low light rainforest environment. It helps it to absorb and retain water. And by furling its leaves up, it helps to reduce the risk of fungi and bacteria forming on their leaves. Which you don't need to worry about in your home.
No.
But obviously in its native environments, those are things that it needs to worry about.
Aren't plants clever, though, when you think...
So
aren't
clever.
they? It's amazing how they adapt.
It is incredible.
How they actually work in all these different conditions. And it's just a case of trying to, in your own home, just putting them in the right place, where they're going to be happy.
Yeah. This one's another one that's going to like a more humid environment.
Yeah,
so this
so I was
could
gonna
work
say
well in a
bathroom,
bathroom.
kitchen.
Yeah, bathroom, kitchen. Or there's another thing that I was reading about that you can do. I've never done this with any of mine, but I don't have these ones, so maybe I will when I get them. But that is standing the pot on a tray of pebbles filled with water.
Yes, and that does create...
And that can create
a moist environment.
Yeah. So I quite like that idea
Yeah.
as well. So if you don't have space to put it in your bathroom or your kitchen and you want to put it somewhere else, it's about creating that lovely humid environment, which is what this is going to need.
I think that's gorgeous, don't you?
Love this.
Yeah.
Because it's related to the calathea, which is like the one that we were talking about earlier.
You can see, can't you?
So I want that and I want that.
Yeah, you can see they're related.
Yeah. I want both of them.
And
this one.
Now, I've actually got 3 of these all together. I've got a little... It's like a metal tray and it's got 3 matching pots, and I've got 3 of these. And I remember my nan having these, and we always called them money plants.
Yeah, the jade plant, the money plant. Crassula ovata is what they're called. But yeah, these are so interesting,
They're great, aren't they?
I adore these ones.
And it's a buy one, get one free, so you're going to get 2 of these for £7.99. And try and get your order to over £30. You don't just have to buy houseplants for that to be valid, by the way. Anything on the YouGarden website, but as long as you get your order to over £30, you will get free delivery. But you do need to use the code YGTV52, and that promotion, spend £30 or more and get free postage, finishes at the end of December. It will not be valid in January. So
I don't know why I always want to touch the leaves on these. But I do. I always want to stroke the leaves on these for some reason. I think they're gorgeous, aren't they?
They are.
They're lovely, they're glossy, they're thick, they're evergreen. It stays like this all year round. They are actually said to be lucky. They're said to attract wealth. So if you've got one of these in your home, it's supposed to be very lucky and help you to be prosperous.
Well, I've got 3, so it's
there you go.
There you go.
They are relatively slow growing, but they can get quite big, can't they? They can get to over 2 metres once they get fully grown. In fact, and I know in our local takeaway, a Chinese takeaway, they've got one of these and it's huge.
Really?
It's absolutely
Actually,
beautiful.
when I think about it, my nan's was quite big. I bet my nan's was about, at least a foot by a foot.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a while to grow.
Mine are not that big because, as you said, relatively slow growing. Now, the only thing, Bex,
Yes.
when I've really neglected mine,
Yes.
all that's happened is they've lost a few leaves. When I've really not watered them,
Yes.
that's all and I've never managed to kill them.
No, I don't.
And sometimes I have forgotten to water them for quite a while. But they seem really easy.
They're pretty easy to look after. They do like a sunny spot.
Yeah.
So in a window would be great.
That's where mine are.
Fantastic in a conservatory, actually. You could move yours into your conservatory quite happily. Another top tip on this one is it does like tepid water. Rainwater in actual fact prefers tepid rainwater. But you haven't done rainwater with yours, have you?
No, just tap.
Just normal tap
They've
water.
been all right, though. I've just done cold tap water.
Oh, well, there you go. But apparently they do
They
prefer
might be
tepid
like,
rainwater.
could you just give me some tepid rainwater and I'll grow even bigger for you?
Maybe you should try it and see
I am
what
gonna.
happens.
I am.
Give it a go.
Yeah.
But yeah, these ones are really, really simple, very easy, so a great starter plant to have. And if you want to invite some good luck and some prosperity into your home, these are said to help you do that.
I just really like the way they grow and the way they form.
Yeah.
They're lovely, aren't they?
They sort of meander a little bit, don't they?
Yeah. They're really attractive.
Yeah, I like them.
Well, that's a really good price. So it's a
It
buy
is
one,
buy one, get one free.
for $7.99. Obviously, you
good.
do need to use the code YGTV52. So this selection that we've had over here, this is our smaller houseplant collection. So all of these are in 12 centimetre pots. And don't forget, we have got, obviously, your extra white pots to pop them in, which is a buy one get one free at £3.99. We've got great reviews on our website for houseplants as well.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Reviews.
Look at the quality of these.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to be adding a few to my basket. Definitely going to be getting some.
Cool. Well, let's remind you of some of the plants that we've seen so far. So we started off with, I'm just going to use the common names because that's what I've known these as for years. And I actually know this is mother-in-law's tongue. And these are spectacular. Love the way that they grow. They're architecturally brilliant, very easy to look after. They don't require much water. They're actually very shallow rooted as well, actually. They're very shallow rooted, don't need a lot of water, and will survive very nicely in a position where it gets sunlight but not necessary direct light. Postage is included. You get a really good size on those in the 17 centimetre pots at £21.99, 800 265. Then we have got aloe vera. These again, absolutely lovely. Another one that thrives pretty much on neglect, doesn't need a lot of care, doesn't need a lot of water, and structurally they look fantastic, don't they? Obviously, do be careful of the leaves. They are spiky at the edges. So not ideal, I suppose, if you've got youngsters that we were touching the plants. It's a little bit, I say spiky, they're just a little bit spiky on the edges, but they look beautiful, and they're only £11.99, 800 113 for the aloe vera there. Then the plant there, this is one of the few plants that I've never grown, but it is on my list. It is the medallion prayer plant. Wow. The leaves on it, the markings on the leaves are absolutely fascinating. The underside is this rich kind of burgundy, but then the upper side, wow, it's just incredible. They almost look like they're hand painted, these. So really nice sized plant. Does come in a 17 centimetre pot as well, so really nice and established. And you are saving £7 today on that one, £22.99. Now we also brought you some double up, and these are our miniature banana plants. So when we say miniature, they can still grow to a reasonable height. So over many, many years, they may get to 1.5 meters, something like that. But they do need a lot of water. So keep these well watered, Bex was saying, but it's all about the leaves on these. Really, and the bigger they get, the more spectacular those leaves are. I've got one that I've got outside. I say outside, it's hardened to 0, so it's in the greenhouse right now, but this is your indoor version. Obviously, in the main summer months, you could pop that outside. Just make sure you adjust it well. 800 175, but a double up deal, 2 for £14.98. Then also we saw, oh, I love these. I've got these in my bathroom. It is the incredible Boston fern. Now, these do love a humid atmosphere, so they are ideal for a bathroom, great in a kitchen where you're running water near the sink, something like that. You can, of course, recreate that, so just by misting them regularly, that would help with humidity, but they just look so wonderful, don't they? I love ferns anyway, but this is an indoor fern here in the UK that really looks so luscious. So many leaves there, beautifully shaped and formed, and we are doing a buy one, get one free. They're a really good size as well, really good size. So buy one, get one free at 8, 9, 10. Don't forget, by the way, all of our club members, many of you are discount club members, you get 10% off these prices. Now this one is the Tenanthe Burl Marksy, which I think is gorgeous. Related to the prayer plant that we just showed you, I've always seen this as a fishbone plant because of the markings on the leaves. Absolutely gorgeous. And again, on the underside of this, you have got the burgundy. The markings are spectacular on that one, aren't they? Absolutely divine. Just $11.99, 800 244 is, of course, your item number. So if you have just joined us, a very, very warm welcome. We've got a very special show today. First time ever, it's a houseplant show. So if you might be streaming us at different times. Some of you will have taken your Christmas decorations down, some of you might not have, but we are thinking about New Year and just getting a better, healthier environment in our homes.
I love that time in New Year, actually. I mean, I love Christmas and I love all the decorations, but I love taking the decorations down and starting the new year fresh. It's beautiful, isn't it?
I go decoration mad.
Yes.
I really do. But you're right, by the end of Christmas, I'm kind of like...
I love it.
Yeah, I do.
Get it all down,
tidy
it all up.
Making New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, I'm going to become yoga queen in New Year. That's my resolution. This plant's attacking me.
Nothing worse than plastic plants, you
I know, right?
Get the real thing.
Get the real
I must admit,
plants.
I'm not mad on plastic plants. They have the place, don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But I always feel better with surrounded by real plants.
Well, there is a reason for that, because these indoor plants, the majority of them here, they're amazing at cleaning the air. They remove toxins out the air. They release oxygen into the air. So there is an actual definite reason
Makes
for
sense,
that.
doesn't it?
Looking at greenery, you can read up what that can do for you. It can be absolutely amazing. But also, there's no need for plastic plants in your house. Honestly, I mean, we're in a shed here, so that's why we've got these plastic ones.
There's no light.
There's no light. But actually, you can get and this is what I'm going to bring you on to with this houseplant mix here.
This is incredible.
Because you can get some really easy to care for houseplants that are really difficult to kill, that will give you all of those amazing benefits without you having to work really hard. And that is what this particular mix will give you.
Can I just point out the price on these, by the way? Because you are getting all six of them for $29.99.
Yep.
Now, I will be honest, sadly, you are a penny under this. Free P&P on orders over £30. This is going to finish, by the way, at the end of December. Having said that...
Oh, yeah, where's the pots?
So these are, right, just stay there. I'm just going to get my white pots.
Because we do have some cover pots available, which are, I think they're a buy one, get one free, aren't they?
They are, yes.
So you could get 3 sets, which means you'll get 6 of them, and these will work perfectly for this particular houseplant mix. That will then tip you over that £30 mark, and you'll lose any of the postage costs there.
There we go.
Yeah, so look, these will go, any of these. Da-da-da.
And they look so much better in there, don't they?
So much better in there. And you've got the nice uniformity going on. These don't need repotting. None of these need repotting yet. They'll be perfectly happy to live in these pots for a little while. So yeah, if you've got your little cover pots to go with them, it'll take you over that £30 mark.
And they are a buy one, get one free today. So do make sure you put one other item in your basket and we'll take off that postage. So all 6 of these.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right, so what we've got here is a mixture of leaves, mixture of foliages, mixture of colours.
And actually a mixture of different positions where they'd like as well, yeah?
Absolutely. So let's start at this end. We've got the Dracaena marginata over here. This one's a classic houseplant, incredibly easy to care for. In fact, one of the easiest to care for. Very, very tolerant, very slow growing. Absolutely brilliant because it tells you when it needs watering. You don't need to worry too much about this one as well. I'm going to say this one is nearly indestructible.
Yeah.
When we come on to the other marginata that we've got on the show, I'm going to tell you the story about my husband's that he tried to kill, that is still going. How many years later? I worked it out.
Well, since it was university, so yeah, 30 years now.
Nearly 30 years later. So I'll tell you the story about that. It's indestructible. Then we've got the asparagus.
Yeah, I've got this one.
I knew I was going to trip up on this. Springary. Asparagus Springary. This one and this one both have the Royal Horticultural Society Award of Garden Merit as well, by the way. Love the fine feathery foliage that you get from here. It grows from a compact kind of central crown. It sort of trails rather than climbs. You've got this one at home.
I've got it in the bathroom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it looks great. And it is trailing. It's on the windowsill. It just trails down. It looks lovely.
Yeah, I like that one. Never grown it myself, so you can probably tell us more about that one than I can.
To be honest, very easy. He seems to love it in the bathroom. It lets you... If you underwater it, it just goes slightly yellow. Right, yes. But very, very low maintenance. Yeah, I give it water every now and again.
Yeah, I think bathroom would be great for that.
It gets light but not direct light.
Yeah.
Just bright position but not direct light.
It's the key with the majority of these plants, to be honest with you. Bright but not direct light. And yeah, depending on where you put it, you might want to mist it occasionally. But you've got a bathroom, kitchen,
yes,
fine,
in the bathroom, it's
humidity.
fine. I know this one.
Yeah,
Good old rubber plant.
The rubber plant.
Yay!
Well, this one was really popular in Victorian times, which was when it was sort of brought over, and it was a sign of wealth.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, that sort of thing. It is very, very resilient with the foliage that you've got on here. It's very, very luscious, gorgeous deep green leaves, and each one of these leaves can reach 30 centimetres in length. So this is highly sought after and renowned for its beautiful, large, glossy leaves.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Look at this. This is nice.
The Codium Petra.
Yeah, I haven't grown this one. I love the orange.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah,
okay,
I've seen it.
so
It's like,
it's also
look.
known as, you might have heard of it as Joseph's coat.
Yes, that's what I know it as.
Absolutely, because it's got so many colours.
Yeah.
It's like the Technicolor Dream Coat,
Yeah.
basically. Again, this one's
Amazing.
bright, indirect light, but this one will cope with a bit of direct sunshine as well. So this one might be good for your conservatory, but just be careful. You don't want it to scorch too much, but it does like quite a bit of light going on there as well. Yeah, it's going to need a decent amount of water, this one. Keep it constantly moist. This one is not drought tolerant. So this is probably the most... I don't want to say needy. This one requires
most thirsty.
Most thirsty.
Yes.
This one's going to require the most attention out of all 6 of these, but still a very easy one for you to look after.
Joseph Coates, lovely.
Lovely.
I really like that, don't you? These are amazing. 6 of these for $29.99.
I know.
Wow.
And we've got the Dracaena fragrans over here. You might have heard it as the false palm or the corn plant. This one also has the Royal Horticultural Society Award of Garden Merit. Native to Africa, lovely glossy green foliage, sort of a crown that you get on this, and it creates a lovely woody stem at the bottom of this as it grows as well. So you get it's a slow growth rate, doesn't grow massively fast, can get up to about 2 metres in height, and this one's a really strong air purifier as well. So if you're wanting air purifying properties, that's a great one to have in your home.
And again, that's easy as well. I've got
Yeah, that one's simple.
Yeah.
I think I need Dracaena, to be honest.
And what about this?
Yeah, the Chamaedorea elegans, another one with the Royal Horticultural Society Award of Garden Merit. Definitely feels like it's a beautiful palm kind of shape to it. Very elegant, very classic. It's a staple, isn't it, as far as indoor houseplants are concerned. You'll see this one a lot. Native to the rainforests in southern Mexico and Guatemala, but it definitely has sort of timeless appeal, and I like the way that it grows, where you get the foliage at varying levels with this, which makes this quite interesting.
Now, I've got one of these, and it doesn't get a lot of light, but it seems to be okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely fine. A little bit of light is
yeah,
fine.
Doesn't get a lot, but it does fine.
Not direct, not bright, but yeah, it can cope with a bit of a darker corner.
I think that is an amazing selection.
Love that collection.
Don't you? For the
Really
price,
love that.
£130.
I mean, if you're looking around your house right now and you think, I've got no house plants, or I've only got one, brilliant collection. Or if somebody's just moving into their first home, what a lovely collection to get for them.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Have we got time to tell
I'd be
a
so
quick
happy
story?
with
Because
that.
you've got a quick story and I've
Yeah.
got a quick story. Go on,
Yeah.
you first, Bex.
What, the Dracaena?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so my husband had one of these, and he had it from when he was 18 years old, when he first went to university, and he's 40-something now, so we are talking nearly 30
Yeah.
years. Now, it had grown really tall, if you think this, so it had grown up to about this tall, and it was just a thin stem and these spiky little bits coming out the top. He'd never repotted it in 30 years, barely watered it.
Total neglect then.
Total neglect on this thing. And a few years ago he said to me, I'm just going to get rid of it. And I was like, you are not getting rid of that. It's a plant, it's alive. He's like, but it's nearly dead. I took it, I had to smash the pot because it was one of those bowl-shaped
Oh,
ones,
right,
so there was
so you-
no way I was getting it out of that pot, so I had to smash the pot. It was just a root ball. There was no soil. There was nothing left. So I repotted it. I wish I'd got the picture. I repotted it, and I've got, I think it's 2 stems have now come out. It's beautiful, it's thick, it's
Wow.
luscious, it's amazing. That thing had no attention for 20 years of its
And
life.
yet it survived.
It's still living, and now it's not just living, it's absolutely
Isn't that
thriving.
amazing?
It's amazing, isn't it?
I think it is lovely when you have plants in the family for years. My quick story is when I was a child, my mum had a rubber plant. She was given it when she got married to my dad. And it got to a point where it was looking really tired and leggy, and I took some cuttings. I was only about 8, if I remember. So I took a couple of cuttings. They both took.
Oh, nice.
I gave one to my next door neighbour, who was also into plants, Joe Russell, who ended up quite a famous DJ on the radio, actually, funny enough. Yeah, she's my neighbour. And the other cutting my mum has still got now, and she's got it in her conservatory. And I grew that when I was 8. And I'm now, so it's over 40. It's over 40 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, and I mean, is that so? You know, I love it. I look at it and think I grew that as a child.
You did that.
Yeah, and it's now 40 odd years old.
That's beautiful.
So, and that rubber plant has been moved around from home to home.
Yeah. Well, I'm never getting rid of that one. I'm never getting rid of that Dracaena marginata that Kev, my husband's. It's mine.
I think plants
now.
do become part of your home and family, don't they?
Yeah.
They really do. That is an amazing selection. All 6, $29.99. Just add one other item to your order. Go for the cover pots, maybe $3.99 for those. It's a buy one, get one free. That takes your order to over £30, and then you've got free delivery.
Perfect.
I like that a lot.
Love that collection.
Yes. Right. Do you know what I'm thinking, though? Both of us, a lot of our plants over the last year, we've repotted them, haven't we?
Yeah. Okay.
And
I know where you're going.
Because sometimes plants do become a little bit pot bound.
Yeah.
Again, they let you know, don't they?
They do. They let you know. And so my one is my peace lily, if you're going for it, by the way. So my peace lily was struggling because I was doing a few things wrong. I'd got it in the wrong place. I didn't have enough light on it. You know, I think it needed repotting. I'd been overwatering it. There was a few problems. But what I did with my peace lily was I repotted it in our premium professional compost. And that was one of the changes that I made. And all of a sudden, she's happy.
Yeah.
She's producing flowers. She's not being a diva anymore. And I do put a lot of that down to the fact that I repotted it into our premium professional compost.
And I do think sometimes, if we're honest to ourselves, with houseplants, you maybe do not repot them as often as you should. You just leave them in that same pot. And you imagine if that poor plant has been stuck in the same compost for many, many years, the chances are it is a little bit deprived of the essential nutrients that it actually needs. Now, I do feed my houseplants. Obviously, that's going to help. You don't need to feed probably at this time of the year. But by repotting them, as Bex did, and I've done with some of my plants, it can make the world of difference. Now, this is our top-selling product here on YouGarden TV. And at the nursery, we have sold millions of litres, and we have got an offer today, don't forget, where you get 2 50-litre bags for just £24.98, delivered absolutely free of charge. And this isn't just for houseplants, it's for everything from seeds to trees. Everything,
I use it in my garden. I'm going to be using it soon when I start doing my seed sowing, but I definitely have repotted my houseplants. As I say, my peace lily has gone in this, the Dracaena marginata, that's been repotted in this, and those plants are now thriving. They are having a wonderful time, and it's because it's got a beautiful texture. It's nice and light and airy, which means there's room for the roots to do what they need to do, but it's also packed with some really special and amazing ingredients, all scientifically backed, all made to the same recipe each and every time that you buy it. We've got a slow release fertilizer in here. You see all those little green balls as I move through the compost? That is the slow release fertilizer. There's loads of them in there, so your plants can get feed as and when they need it. Still keep doing your liquid fertilizer, you know, do that during the summer months, but this is great that they can get feed as and when they want it.
Well, we would love you to go for it. So we've got the composted wood fibre, the different types of peat in there, white and dark peat.
Yep.
The
lime to balance
pH.
the pH.
Yeah.
What else?
The wetting agent.
Wetting agent. Yeah, it's really, really good, and it's backed by science to give your plants everything that they need.
And great reviews on our website. Right, something a bit quirky for you now.
Quirky, love this one.
Is our Jumbo Venus flytrap.
Yeah.
The only carnivorous plant on the show. And it is absolutely fascinating. So there's been a big resurgence in these. Again, they're really popular right now in the UK. Ours comes with this hologram. This is what it does, look. So buzz, 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 there's a fly. The trap closes, the plant is very happy, and it's well fed. So what you need to do with this, first of all, when it comes to eating the flies and the insects. The reason the traps close, well, many actually. First of all, the fly is drawn to these because of the colour and the scent. When the fly or the insect goes into the trap, there are little micro hairs there. It activates them, and the plant recognises that there's food, and the trap pretty much instantly closes, as you can see there in that demonstration. Those traps will stay closed for about 10 to 12 days as it produces liquids to digest the fly or the insect, and once it's fully digested, the trap will reopen and the process can start again. But there are a few things that you need to know in terms of how to look after this plant. Some basic rules. These naturally grow in swamps in countries like America, and they really love rainwater. They don't like tap chlorinated water. They don't really get on with it at all. So always water it with rainwater. And it does like wet roots. So what you really want to do is have this stood in a saucer of rainwater. Now in the winter months it does go more dormant, so what you do is let the saucer go dry before you add more water to it. In the summer months it likes to be stood in that rainwater constantly, so do bear that in mind. It likes a bright position, but not, it doesn't want to bake, so a nice bright windowsill but not loads of direct sun. And apart from that, it's pretty easy. The one thing that, you know that little demonstration that we did where we activated the traps? It's very tempting to do that several times, but don't, because this is actually fooling the plant into thinking it's got food. So what it will now do is close, and it will spend the next 10 to 12 days using energy to make the digestive liquids to digest something that isn't there. So if you did that too many times, the traps would die and the plant would be likely to die. So I know it's really fascinating to see. I'd say do it once, but that is it. Don't feed the plant either. It's one of the few plants that will not like the blooming fast. It's a carnivorous plant. And if you think it's lacking a few insects in the summer, put it outside and it'll get a good feed.
Yeah, it'll get really good feeds.
Yeah.
But do remember, this one's one of the largest that you'll be able to get out there on the market. We are proud that we've got one of the biggest ones, and you've got that jumbo trap size on there as well. So each of those traps can reach over an inch in diameter.
And I think it makes it look a bit more dramatic as a plant.
I love it.
Yeah, I do.
just think it's so interesting.
And actually, just from a practical point of view, I remember last year, there were so many flies around. And I don't like using the sprays because you look at the back of the spray and it's like, don't breathe, don't go near, don't put on your...
How can you not breathe it in?
Don't use when you've got food in the kitchen. And normally you've got flies when you're preparing food. And so the sprays you've got to be careful with. My mum bought those sticky things for the window and they worked, but they look disgusting. Yep. Because all you see is lots of dead flies. Awful. So actually, from a practical point of view, it's nature's way of dealing with those.
I like nature's way. I'm a big fan of nature's way, definitely.
$9.99, and that is 800-155.
Except in the ageing process, I'm not a fan of that one. But, you know.
Right, which way, Bex?
We're going that way. We're going to go to the other small stuff. So we've got some more smaller plants here to bring you. This is, we're saying smaller. This is our smaller plant table. We've got our medium and we've got our large. Yeah,
these are still good size because in 12 centimetre pots,
Great
aren't they?
size. Some really interesting ones here as well. Should we start with the Areca palm?
Yeah, I've got one of these. Mine's big, actually.
Yeah.
I think mine's about a metre.
Yeah, well, they can get up to... probably near to 2 metres in height.
Oh, so mine's on its way.
Yeah, yours is definitely on its way. This has the Royal Horticultural Society Award of Garden Merit, by the way. So this is one that's been trialled, tested, proven to be a wonderful performer. It is evergreen. It's a classic houseplant, and this is not one that goes out of fashion. Lovely upright growth that you get from this one, with the arching, gently sort of arching palm leaves that you get happening over the edges of here. It does add a bit of an exotic feel to your house as well, doesn't it? It's one that's used a lot in offices as well. Yeah, because again, you'll see this a lot in offices, won't you? It's got so as it grows and it gets bigger, what you do get, because there's another name for this, the golden cane palm, because the canes will age to a kind of golden colour as well, which is where that name comes from. And you get the multiple stems forming in clusters out of the soil here. Now again, I think this is one that lets you know when it needs watering, because when mine needs a water, it does go slightly floppy. Yeah, so this is great. I love it when a plant tells you when it needs something, because sometimes they can be a bit tricky. Yeah. And this one is going to tell you, so it'll probably just droop a little bit like that.
And you give it water, and actually really quickly it goes
up again.
Like that.
Yeah, I like it when it does this. This is another one that's really good at cleaning out and filtering the air in your home as well. So again, we've put the details on our website, but there's been some NASA studies on these sorts of things, and this one's a good air purifier.
Now mine's in a bright position, but again, not direct sunlight.
Yeah, bright but indirect is what this one is going to want. And top watering, let the top dry out. It's going to need moderate watering, so just let the top dry out before you add some more water in there.
But say mine is grown. I've had mine quite a few years, and it's about 1 metre tall. It looks amazing.
Yeah, it's a beautiful one. This is why it is such a good, plant to have in your home, because it's very reliable. It does what you need it to do, and that is provide you with lush greenery.
And when you sit there in
Excuse me.
in situ, that green, it just makes such a difference.
Yeah, and you can see the golden coming through on the canes there as well. I like that added bit of interest that you get from the stems.
I do love houseplants. I do think they are so valuable, and we've got such a great selection on YouGarden today. And actually, it's interesting to see that in lots of different pots as well.
Yeah. So I've got a kind of grey colour to the pots in my house. I've got a bit of a grey theme. I did that whole trendy grey thing. But I'm thinking about changing that now.
No, it's still in it, isn't it?
Yeah,
I hope so.
I just don't like
I'm
to
hoping my hair's on trend.
Don't like to follow the crowd, you know? Yeah, I don't want the grey in my hair, but I didn't mind with the pots.
By the way, we have got, don't forget, will that just go in there?
It will. No, I think we need the slightly bigger one.
Yeah, I think you need the 15 centimetre.
I'm going to get the bigger one.
So we've got the 12 centimetres. These are a buy one, get one free today, and they're only $3.99. They look really nice. I think they look very high-end. Yeah, sometimes less is more.
That's going to be fine for the baby monstera, which we're coming on to next. I want that one.
It would be fine for the spider plants. For most of these, it is, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be fine for those. But if we're going for this one, it does need to be in the slightly larger size that we've got there.
And that's the 15 centimetre pot cover there. Again, these are all in a buy one, get one free at just £5.09. That does make such a difference, doesn't it?
It really does, doesn't it? Look how beautiful that looks now.
Very clean looking.
It looks so much better than grey. I know that's a grey plastic pot, but
that's so much
I need to upgrade my pot game.
Yes. They're really nice pots, really nice pot covers, those.
Gorgeous.
2 for £5.99 and a buy one, get one free. Now, I'm just thinking,
I've always wanted a monstera.
I've had the big one that we've got coming up, the traditional cheese plant, as I call it.
Yes, so we've got that one coming, and that's the big one. But
I've never grown this one.
Well, the reason I've never got a monstera is obviously they can get really big, can't they?
Yeah, oh yeah, huge.
Like really big.
We had one that touched the ceiling when I was a child.
And I'm not sure my husband is ready for me to have that in the house right now. Whereas this one, this is a smaller one, a smaller variety, a more compact variety, and it's less demanding as well. So we are only talking maybe 1 metre in height from this particular one. So it's so much easier to look after than its more demanding relative.
And you can either have it going upright, or it would trail, wouldn't it, as it gets bigger?
Absolutely, yeah. So you can train these, you get the moss poles,
yes,
can't you?
And you can
which is what they can grow up. Or this one, because it's smaller, you can let it trail. It's going to be absolutely fine. The other beautiful thing with this is you get the perforations in the foliage in younger plants. This is called leaf fenestration, by the way. And you get it in the younger plants, which is unlike other monsteras. So with other monsteras, you have to wait for them to mature before you get that distinctive fenestration in the leaves. This will happen in the younger plants.
And actually, with the larger plants, you only get 1 or 2 of the perforations start with, and as the leaves get bigger, you get more and more. But there are several even on the small leaves.
Look how many.
I wonder, Bex, here's a question for you, and you might not know the answer to this, but I wonder why it actually produces, what the biological reason is.
There was, and I was reading up on this, it was something about, what was it?
I was just wondering if it was something to do with the air circulation.
No, it wasn't air circulation. It was something to do with... Was it water getting through or light getting through? It's something to do with the water or the light.
That would make sense.
I'll have to read up on it again.
Yeah, that would make sense. I was thinking it must allow something to...
Have you read wind resistance, Stu? Oh, well, there you go. So it's the mixture of the two, isn't it? So the wind resistance will allow the better water. You want to let the wind through to get the water through. I knew there was something I'd read on that one.
That would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's really fascinating, don't you, that one?
I love this one.
Yeah, never grown that one, but I would like to add it to my list.
Yeah, I think it'd be really beautiful.
And it's very attractive.
It's really interesting, isn't it? You know, it's great to get the lovely, big, thick foliage, but the fact that you get those holes and the fenestration on the leaves, I think is really just beautiful. I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. And it's a great price today. It's only £9.99, 800-159. So if you have just joined us, a few things you need to know. We have got free postage when you spend over £30. That promotion is about to finish. So anything else you want to buy, because a lot of you will be regulars on our usual YouGarden shows, anything you want to buy, put in your basket. If it's over £30, you will get free delivery. So not just the plants on this show. And don't forget to get all of the offers, because there's lots of buy one, get one frees and things like that. You need to use the offer code YGTV52. And if you are a club member, you will get 10% discount on all of the plants that we've got and all of the plants pretty much on our website as well.
Absolutely.
And compost in the pots and things like that. Right, we better move on to this. Now, I've always known this as devil's ivy. I'm sure that's what I call it.
Yeah, maybe.
That's what I always called it.
I just know it as the marble queen. It's called Epiprenum pinnatum.
It's great.
It's one of the best plants for cleaning the air in your home. I know I've spoken a lot about it so far, but this is one of the best ones for you. It does bring the lush tropical jungles of Polynesia into your home. It is a bit of a scrambling vine, so this is something that you're going to climb up a support
or let it
trail from a hanging basket. Absolutely. But what you do get with this one is the spectacular, variegated, shiny leaves. And each of those leaves can grow to a decent size as well. We're talking 10 centimetres. That's like 4 or 5 inches long.
I tell you what, that marbling on the leaves is absolutely beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's stunning.
You can see why it's called Marble Queen,
yeah.
can't you? Absolutely.
Oh, just gorgeous.
Really, really pretty, this one. Be careful not to overwater. This is one that really is, it doesn't want overwatering at all. But again, just check the top of the soil. It's so easy. Just check it. If it's dry at the top, give it a little bit.
Out of all the plants we've got on the show, the only one that really likes to be wet most of the time is
the banana.
The banana. And I was going to say, the Venus flytrap likes to be sat in water most of its time.
Yeah, and the only other one was in the 6-pack, wasn't it? It was, forgotten the name.
Yeah, that likes a lot of water.
Codium petra.
Yeah, but most, because overwatering is a problem with plants.
In general, but certainly with houseplants.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I mean, we see them and we go, oh, put some water in. Just check the top. Just check if the top's dry, then you can give it a little bit of water. And the thing is, I think we get into a habit of doing it during the summer months, and then we continue with that habit during the winter. And actually, you drastically reduce the amount of watering in the winter. It's something I've learnt to my detriment, or at least to my plants' detriment, on multiple occasions.
I've always loved houseplants. We always had them as children, but I think I've definitely got better with mine. I've just got the right ones in the right place, and I know how to treat them. Occasionally, I do neglect them, but underwater. But most plants are better off being slightly underwater than over.
Yeah. Well, I've always had low needs plants, you know. I've always gone for the thrives on neglect plants in the home. But as I'm getting more and more into it and loving it a little bit more, then, you know, I'm going to go
branching out.
I am.
We should say that on our website, we've got brilliant information about all of our plants. If you're ever not sure, just go to the YouGarden website. You'll find full plant and product descriptions and lots of helpful hints and tips as well. These, by the way, the Marble Queen, they'd look great in the 12th century pots. Doesn't that look lovely?
Yeah, they'd live happily in there for a little while as well. They'll need potting on at some point, but yeah, they'll live happily in there.
Nice.
Really pretty. I like actually the white with the marbling on there. That looks really beautiful.
And I love flowers, of course I do. I'm a gardener. But cut flowers have gone off a little bit in recent years. I just think they're very expensive in the UK.
They are. They don't last very long.
No. And also,
you get a week out of them if you're lucky, don't you?
I suppose I've got not a massive problem, but it does seem a bit of a waste. Flowers grown and then they're chopped down and they're shipped across the country. I still love flowers, don't get me wrong, but I think a plant is a far better gift.
Lasts
I
a lot longer.
I would much prefer a plant than flowers, if any of my friends are watching. But we have got a buy one, get one free on the pot covers on those. And also, we have got a buy one, get one free on many of the plants.
Yeah, make sure you use the code. When it's a buy one, get one free, put one in your basket, enter the code, we will automatically put the other one into your basket. Oh. Now, we were talking about the baby monstera.
Should we go for the big one?
Can we show them the big monstera? Do
you know what? I suddenly felt quite emotional coming along to this because as a child, we had one of these. And it did get to the ceiling. And it was supported by a big moss stick. And what I remember as a child, when new leaves were coming, I always wanted to see how many perforations were in the new leaf. And as it got bigger, the leaves became more and more wonderful.
I love them.
I always wanted it to fly. I remember reading in a plant book called They Can Produce Yellow Flowers. It never did, and I've never seen it in this country.
Yeah, I don't think they really do
not
indoors or in this country.
I always hoped as a child.
Yeah, they can in their native places, but I don't think it really happens
here.
I've
never seen one.
Well, it does have the Royal Horticultural Society Award of Garden Merit. So this is one that they've trialled and tested, and they have shown that, it is a proven performer, and it's definitely one of the most popular houseplants because, well, it grows really big and people love that, don't they? You want a big plant in your house. Also, it gives that instant tropical effect to any room. You've got glossy leaves on here and you've got that added interest with the, the perforations on the leaves. Now, with your monstera, they do need to grow a bit. They need to get a bit bigger before you get the perforations. In fact,
although this has got them coming.
It's got them coming, but as you can see, look, there's leaves here.
They're solid.
That are solid, and that's how they come through. So don't think that that's a problem, but they do have perforations
but look,
on.
This one is like, I'm mature.
Yeah,
I'll show you how to be as an adult.
The maturer leaves do get those perforations, and I quite like that they're not uniform as well. Like it's higgledy-piggledy. It's all over the place. Now it will climb. You can train it, can't you, to climb up a banister, up a pole, up a support.
We had like a 6-foot moss stick in the end.
Yeah, and the thing is, if it does get out of control, if it gets too big, you can chop it back. You really can. You can chop it back and keep it under control. It's not a problem.
And again, these were very popular in the 80s, and they're really on trend again, aren't they?
Really on trend. And $29.99.
It's a good sized plant, isn't it?
That's a really good sized plant for the price that's on your screen right now. It's incredible.
Oh, I've got
love it.
So many childhood memories of this.
Aww.
Mum, if you're watching, we loved our cheese plants.
Yeah, my mum killed every plant. She's a great gardener, just in case she is watching. She is a fantastic gardener.
Hey, Shirley.
No, Sheila.
Sorry, Sheila.
So she's a great gardener, she really is, but houseplants, not her forte.
I just think with houseplants, and please, if you don't consider yourself good with houseplants, they're really not that difficult.
They're not.
It just putting them in the right place. And making sure they get the right amount of water. It's not that difficult. I just think sometimes we overthink it, or we try and put a plant in a room where it just doesn't want to be.
Yeah. If it wants humidity, give it humidity, either by putting it in a humid room or by misting it. Make sure you clean the leaves to stop the dust buildup. That's a simple trick that you can do that will really, really help, particularly on big leaves like this. They still need that photosynthesizing process to take place, and if the leaves are covered in dust, they can't do that. Wet cloth, give them a wipe.
And at times, plants do need feeding.
Yeah.
They don't want to be just in that same pot for years and years, lacking nutrients, so they will need feeding from time to time. I tend to use Blooming Fast. Until our all-post plant feed. But all the instructions are on our website, of course, as well. But that is amazing, isn't it? I love the prices.
Adore it.
Postage is included in that one as well.
Yeah. It's a bit like the outdoor one that I love, isn't it? What's it called?
Which one?
That one that's got...
Oh, God, hang on. Here we go. Give me clue, Bex.
Stuart, your wife wants one.
An outdoor plant.
Outdoor. It's to the big border. It's going to get big, like shade, likes a bit of clay soil. It's got the
castor oil.
Castor oil plant, Fatsia, thank you. That's what it reminds me of. It's the big, luscious foliage, and that's why I want one indoors as well as outdoors.
We are like a married couple now, so we finish each other's sentences. Now, another plant that I had as a child in my bedroom was
In your bedroom?
Yes.
Oh, how lovely.
I did. I had a quite big bedroom as a child, and I had some not loads, but quite a few big plants, and I had this. Right, I will be honest.
Go on.
when I first, I put it in a bit of a drafty area.
Oh yeah, no.
And it hated it.
Yeah.
When I say drafty, when I bought it, I put it near the window, and I had the window open quite a lot because it was summer.
Yep.
And it did not like the draft. And I learned quite quickly they do not like drafts.
Yeah, well, so as much as a lot of the houseplants that we're bringing you like a warmer or more tropical environment, that doesn't mean they want to be placed right next to a radiator.
No.
Or that they want to be in too much of a drafty spot. In fact, the majority of the plants that we're talking to you about today, bring it, they're indoors, but they don't want to be in direct sunlight and they don't want to be in a drafty spot. So it's just about trying to find that right place for them. But this one is so pretty, isn't it?
Oh, I love the form and the shape, don't you? I tell you what, the leaves are so healthy and glossy on this.
So glossy, and it's that kind of darker green that you're getting with this one, which I think is really, really pretty. You get these slender branches, and they do kind of weep in the way that they grow. You can see how it kind of, as it's growing, it will gently sort of weep and trail, and that is why people want this in their homes, because it's got a very organic shape to it. It's non-uniform, and that's beautiful.
Now you do get a big plant, so approximately 105 centimetres, just over a metre, and it does come in a 21 centimetre pot with £10 off. I will just mention the postage because YouGarden have spent an awful lot of money, time, research perfecting their packaging. And you'll know that if you've ordered before. So this will arrive very safe in a big box. All the packaging is 100% recyclable as well. But this will arrive very securely in a big box. The postage is £6.99. However, we will say goodbye to that if you spend over £30. So try and get them. We've got lots of individual smaller plants on the show. Or actually, if you think I only want to buy one house plant, just buy anything else off our website. We've got loads of outdoor plants, pots, foods, lots
compost.
of we've got everything. It's YouGarden. We've got pretty much something of everything.
Thousands of items on the website. Yeah.
But get your order to over £30 and you will get free delivery. So do bear that in mind. But this promotion is about to finish. It does finish at the end of December, early January. So do bear that in mind.
We'll have other offers.
Yes,
we're not saying goodbye to all of the offers. There'll be lots of other ways that you can save money, but just that one we're having to say goodbye to.
This is magnificent, isn't it?
Yeah, I really like this one. I haven't got this one, and there's so many here today that I would like. This would be beautiful, wouldn't it, in the corner of a room?
I've got a couple of these, but mine are variegated.
Oh, yeah.
And looking at this, I actually think this is a bit more dramatic.
It is quite dramatic because
really
it's got that dark
leaves,
green leaf on it, and it is quite low maintenance as well.
Look at that.
It's not one that's going to need loads of time and attention from you.
And again, I think this one lets you know when it needs water because it just starts to drop a few leaves.
Yeah, it will. Oh, look at that.
That was like the one I had in my bedroom. It was like a tree.
Really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
It does like to be left alone, this one.
Yeah, it does.
Water when the surface is dry, reduce it in water, mist it in the summer, and maybe a little feed in spring. That's pretty much all this one is going to need. Thrive on neglect mostly.
I love that. 800 104, just £24 and 99 with a £10 saving. If you have just joined us, by the way, lovely to be with you. Bit of a different show. So normally the YouGarden shows are pretty much all about outdoor plants and bulbs and bedding and bare roots, but we do have a wonderful selection of houseplants, so we wanted to share this on this very, very special show. And I have to say, I think we've all been inspired, but the value today is incredible as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really good, really good.
I'll be placing an order for
sure. And we just thought with New Year on the horizon, sometimes you take down the decks and the house looks bare, so having a few beautiful new houseplants can really just lift your spirits as well, can't it?
Totally, yeah, absolutely. And clean the air in your home as well. It's another benefit.
Well, let's remind you of some of the gorgeous plants that we've seen so far here today with YouGarden TV. Now, this is really cute. And I'll give you the details if I can, because we are looking at the Ficus ginseng, which is, it's like a mini bonsai. years of growth already on this one. But if you are thinking, oh, bonsais are a bit difficult, this is one of the easiest to grow. Postage is included, and we are looking at just £16.99. But it is the Ficus microcarpa ginseng then at just £16.99, like a little mini bonsai, 800-251. Right, now, I have never grown this one, but I have to say the markings are incredible. It's the Tenanthe Bull Marksy, which is only $11.99. I know it as the fishbone plant because the leaves, they do look like fishbones, don't they? But a lot more beautiful. Absolutely stunning. And don't forget, so you've got all of those brilliant markings on the upper side of the leaves, but then almost like a gorgeous purpley colour on the underside as well. 800-244 at £11.99. Now we just saw the Marble Queen. Oh my word, this is absolutely gorgeous. And so I've always known, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've always called this Devil's Ivy. That's the name we always called it. You can grow it to trail, and that's how I've always had it. I've always had it trailing on shelves and things like that. But if you want it to more upright, just give it some support, and you can actually get it to climb as well. But it's all about the incredible marbling on the leaves. And if you look at all the leaves, they're all a little bit different, aren't they? So the markings on this one are magical. A beautiful plant, and we are doing a deal today where you buy one and get one absolutely free at just £8.99. Now, a bathroom favourite of mine is the Boston Fern. Got these in my bathroom because they do like a humid environment. So this one is a great one for bathrooms where they're naturally going to get that humidity. Obviously, every time you shower and things like that, the air is going to be moist. But also, a lot of people have these in the kitchen. So again, if they're near the sink where you're running water and things like that, then they will get obviously a more natural humid environment. Buy one, get one free today. They're really well established houseplants at just £8.99, 800-168. Now these are really back in fashion. They are, well, you will know these as a spider plant. So, again, they like light but not direct sunlight. They don't want to be overwatered. As they get more mature, they produce the baby. So you get the little stems forming, you get tiny white flowers on them. I'll be honest, the flowers are pretty insignificant. They're nothing to, well, as we used to say, write home about. But when they produce the little babies, it gets rather exciting because the babies can stay alive on the stems for an awful long time, and a lot of people choose to leave them that way. But you can actually very easily take them off and propagate them and get lots and lots of spider plants in your home. But we are doing a buy one get one free today at just £8.99, 800-241. Now, the Crassula avata, the money plant, as I know it. My gran had one of these and I loved it as a child, and I've got 3 of these in my home now. And they're just, the way that these grow is just quite magical. Now the theory is, the belief is that they are designed to help give you wealth. I cannot guarantee it, but let's hope so. Let's hope it's a prosperous 2024. They can grow quite big. They almost look tree-like as they get bigger actually, and they can grow up to 1.5 feet big, even bigger actually on a mature plant, but relatively slow growing, but gorgeous kind of succulent leaves on those as well. Buy one, get one free for the Crassula avata, or the money plant as I know it, 800-242. The Crassula avata there. It's been great learning a few of these names because I've always, I know most houseplants by their common names. Now this is a banana plant. Got a few of these. Well, I had a few of these outdoors in summer there, being looked after in the greenhouse right now. But this is a house plant. It's a mini version, so it's not going to grow huge. You think of banana plants, when they grow naturally, they can grow several meters high. This one won't. So it'll only grow to about 1.5 metres, maybe a little bit more, and that would be over many, many years. But these are grown for their incredible foliage. Now, this is one of the few plants on the show that does like to be moist all of the time. So it's a thirsty plant, this one. So do bear that in mind. This one does like to be moist. I think it's gorgeous. Structure, those leaves are magnificent. And don't forget, the bigger this gets, the bigger those leaves and the more magnificent they'll be. 800 175 at £9.99 with, of course, postage included. Now, this is the Monstera monkey leaf. So it's from the Swiss cheese plant family, but it's a smaller variety. And it gets the perforations at a very young age. So you don't have to wait years for it to mature and to get the more decorative leaves. It gets those pretty much straight away. Again, you can get it to climb, use something like a moss stick for it to climb up, but it equally looks just as nice as a trailing variety as well. And that is only £9.99, 800 159. And don't forget, we've got a couple of different composts on the show, but if you're looking for a peat-free houseplant repotting mix, this is the one to go for. And it's a really nice nutrient-balanced compost, which is for pretty much all houseplants. And we are doing a double-up deal on that. So it's 8 litres for £7.99, but actually for an extra £3 you can double up and go for 2 bags for £10.99. All you need to do to take advantage of all of the special offers on the show is use that code YGTV52, and that will unlock all of the offers that are available. But we're going to go back to, we've got different size plants on the show. So we've got large, medium and small, and this table is our medium.
Our medium table, absolutely.
Well, it's important because it depends where you're going to put the plant and what size house you've got, what size room, things like that.
What size it's going to grow to.
I think this for £7.99 though is amazing. The peace lily, don't you?
It's lovely.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, we both got peace lily.
We have.
It's
I've had that years.
It is an easy one to grow. You just got to find the right space. I've often talked about my peace lily. I was just doing a few things wrong. It needs bright but indirect light, so it doesn't want to be right in a south-facing window, for example. But it does want a decent amount of light source on it. You're going to want to clean the leaves occasionally just to stop any dust build-up. But look how gorgeous these glossy leaves are. And it's about, I mean, these aren't the flowers, these are called the spathes that actually come off here, but we often talk about these being the leaves. Look at how beautiful these are. And those flowers are really long-lasting. They're on the plant for weeks and weeks and weeks.
You are so right, actually. Some of them, you can be talking 6 to 8 weeks, can't
Honestly,
you?
they will stay on there. I mean, I'm just thinking mine's got 2 flowers on it at the moment, and they have been on there for absolutely ages. They're gorgeous, gorgeous plants. Instantly recognisable, and I think a must-have if you are, investing in your house plants. I adore the fact that with this one it tells you when it needs a drink.
It does. It droops, but it soon perks up.
It soon perks up because one of the most common problems with houseplants is people overwater them. I've been guilty of it myself. And then they will, the roots will rot, and that's a real tricky problem. So the fact that this tells you when it wants a drink is absolutely brilliant. I haven't watered my peace lily at the moment because we're in winter. I haven't watered it. It's probably, 6 weeks. Because it's not telling me it needs a drink. It hasn't started drooping.
And I think the other thing that people sometimes do, all the plants that we've got on the show, with the exception of the Venus flytrap, none of them want to be sitting in water.
Oh, God, no.
But some people do leave the houseplants sat in water with wet roots, and all the plants on our show would hate that, with the exception of the Venus flytrap. But as I mentioned, all the instructions on our website. But we've picked some easy ones, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of really, a lot of incredibly low maintenance, ones that actually just want you to ignore them, that thrive on neglect, and some that if you want a little bit of extra more work, we've got a few of those as well, but they are really easy, the ones that we've picked for the show today.
But nice bright position on this one.
Yeah, a little bit of water occasionally. You might want to give it a little feed, and a mist in the summer, a little spray of water.
But it will literally, when it needs water, it'll tell you, just do that.
Yeah, it'll just start to droop.
And you go, oh, and then you water it and it'll go, thank you very much.
Within an hour or two as well. It's amazing to watch how it instantly perks up. It's like you when you've had a drink, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's true. Really tired.
After a coffee, I'm talking about.
Oh, yes.
It's amazing what happens to him after you give him a coffee.
Yeah, I'm the same with a glass of wine as well. I can be really tired, give me a glass of wine, it's like, oh, actually, I'm okay, I can party. But that is down by £7, almost half price. It's only £7.99, 801.79. Right, this is actually a real pineapple.
Yeah, it really is.
Genuine, and you can eat it. When it gets larger, you can eat it. It won't get the size of the sort of pineapples you'll see in the supermarkets.
No, it is going to stay a little bit smaller and more compact, but it is actually edible. And I do want you to bear that in mind, because there are some ornamental versions out there where the pineapple is not edible. This one is edible. Leave it on the plant, let it get a bit bigger. It won't get as big as the commercial ones, but you will still be able to take this off and eat it. Once you cut it off, an offset will appear, and sometimes you can get another one to grow. I'm not going to guarantee that though, but what happens once your pineapple is gone, you are left with a beautiful foliage plant for your house anyway.
Every one of the pineapple plants will arrive. We will send it with a pineapple already growing.
It will have one, we promise you that.
And it won't be stuck on it, we'll be growing.
This is the same plant, by the way, that's used in commercial pineapple plantations. Yeah. We just don't have the right conditions here, unfortunately.
It is a bit quirky, but I was thinking, if you've got children, I love plants as a child, so I would have adored that.
Yeah,
I really would.
So
I'd have been
interesting.
excited about
Just
that.
a bit quirky, a bit different, a bit unusual. Like that one a lot.
Yeah, and it is only $14.99 today. 340031. Bex and I, we have both got our eye on this next plant. Funny enough, it's one that neither of us have ever had.
Never.
I
adore it. It's my absolute favourite on the show today.
I mean, look at the leaves on this.
They are so interesting and so intricate.
They almost look like they've been designed, don't they?
They are beautiful. They've actually got, when you look at them close, they've got a bit of a sheen, a bit of a shine to them. Not just a gloss, an actual... is it me? Is it my eyes?
No, they have.
There's a metallic shine to it, isn't there?
But look at those markings.
Well, it's often known as the, what's it called? I've forgotten. Peacock plant. Thank you, Stuart.
That would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and you can see why, because it's got that lovely feathery pattern to the foliage on there. It's also been called the rattlesnake plant or the zebra plant as well. But it is a calathea. Now, they make absolutely stunning statement plants because they have this lovely height and upright growth to them, so they really are very, very dramatic. Plus, it's called the prayer plant because it has this unusual thing that happens to it where the leaves will close at night time and unfurl in the daytime. It's beautiful. I mean, it does it for a few different reasons. It helps to absorb more light, more water, and in its native environment, it will curl its leaves up so that it stops any kind of bacteria growth on the leaves. And obviously, you don't need to worry about that in your homes, but that's just from its native environment.
And isn't it incredible how the underside of the leaves that you're looking at right now is so different from the upper side?
Yeah.
Totally different. Like a burgundy on the underside, and then all those peacock markings.
Well, I was reading about that as well, because that's quite fascinating. Apparently it evolved like that, we think, so that when the light is travelling through the green part of the leaf, the purple bit reflects the useful part of the light back through the leaf. Wow. So in essence, what it gets is double dose of the light so that it can do what it needs to do with its, photosynthesis and everything.
It's
really
incredible how plants evolve, isn't it? And all the different varieties. And it's just so nice to be able to have some of these in the UK in our homes.
Up here. That one's furled, isn't it? Yeah, look.
Yeah.
So you can see how it. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to tear the leaf or damage it. But can you see how it's folded itself up? It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely want this one.
I definitely want this one as well.
So, I'm thinking, which room would it go in best? I know I'd like it. I would like it in my I've got like a kitchen diner.
Yeah.
And I'd like it in there.
Yeah, well, I think because this one, it's going to like a little bit more of a moist environment, so it wants a little bit more humidity.
So actually, it'd be fine in the kitchen diner. It'd be all right.
Kitchen diner, I think, would be absolutely fine for this one.
Maybe would it be better putting it near the sink? I'm thinking then.
Well, maybe. No.
Look, I could give it a mist, couldn't I?
Well, this is the beautiful thing with this. Okay, so yes, it likes humidity. So it wants to be, if we're thinking about in a home, a kitchen or a bathroom would be absolutely brilliant for it. But if you don't want to keep it in a kitchen or a bathroom, you just need to create the humidity for it. And the way to do that is mist it.
Yeah.
Little spray
I've got a little
bottle.
One of those sprays.
Give it a little mist every now and then. You're creating that humid environment for it.
I just think it's so beautiful, isn't it? By the way, thank you to everyone that's been watching, been ordering. Don't forget, spend £30 and you will get free delivery. That offer is finishing very, very shortly. And we have got extra things if you want to get your basket up to £30. Things like the pot covers, for example.
Yeah.
2 different sizes. I'll just put them next to each other. So we can go for the big one is the one that fits up to 15 centimetre pots. They are on a buy one, get one free sale. They're lovely, they're really stylish, really simple. 130472. So that's the larger one, and it's a buy one, get one free. And the slightly smaller one will fit pots up to 12 centimetres, and that is 130471. And they are just £3.99. Right, a few plants that we've both got now. The aloe veras. Well, I've only got this because you gave me a little baby.
I know, and I love it. And this one actually is producing a baby. Look, can you see? There is a little pup that's on this one. So I would not separate it now. In fact, I've got several babies that are growing on my aloe veras currently. I'm not going to do anything with them until the springtime, at which point then I'll separate them and pop them on. But I've started with 1 aloe vera in my house. I don't know how many I've got now, but I definitely counted more than 20 at one point. I've given a few away now because they keep having babies. Great. So I keep potting them up and getting more and more aloe veras. I love them.
Yeah, I've got some friends that keep doing that as well.
I do. I love them. I like the spikes. You can create your own like lotions with this because you know how good aloe vera is
really good.
for like, you know, sun exposure and that sort of thing. You can create face masks with it. It's brilliant. But it is just a beautifully decorative plant. Really easy to look after. Again, thrives on neglect. It's a succulent. So again, please don't overwater it. This one does like its roots to be restricted. You don't want to put this in too big a pot. And what I have discovered is I've put mine in terracotta pots. I did have them in plastic pots, but I have actually put them in terracotta pots because they like the soil to dry out between watering. And so terracotta
of course, it breathes,
takes the water and it breathes.
Yeah.
So that is another tip for me. Do what you like with them, but it does help.
That would make sense, though.
It helps it to dry out between waterings.
Yeah, makes good sense, that, doesn't it? Now, something that my Auntie Jenny had one of these as a child, mother-in-law's tongue, and I was fascinated by it. I've got a couple of these now. Mine have grown really big, but they are mature. But again, when I think about it, I do very little with them. Occasional water, not very often.
Yeah, well, I was overwatering my mother-in-law's tongue. I realised when I realised that sounds very weird.
It does. I was overwatering my mother-in-law's tongue. Have another drink, mother-in-law.
Have another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was overwatering. I repotted all my houseplants earlier on, and I took the snake plant out of the pot, and I was like, whoa, stop watering this. I was definitely overwatering it. This does not need lots of water. It is very, very drought tolerant.
What I was amazed about, because mine are really big, mine are probably, about that.
Mine's about this size.
Really mature. And I repotted one last year, and I was amazed how shallow the roots were.
Yeah, they're not massive, are they?
So they're really fine, like pathetic roots, actually.
Yeah.
So that's probably why they do not need a lot of water.
They really don't need a lot at all. Honestly, they really don't require a huge amount of your attention. But these are great at removing chemicals found in everyday aerosols. This is done by a NASA study, by the way. This is not me saying it. And it emits oxygen at night time. So it's great at purifying the air, storing the oxygen, and then at night time it will release that oxygen. That's why I'm going to move my Sansevieria trifasciata laurentii into my bedroom. I'm just showing off now, sorry. Snake plant.
I think your mother-in-law's tongue will be great. Right.
Where are we going now? Over here. Dragon tree.
Yeah, can I say, by the way, we've had a lovely show. It's been a little bit different having house plants.
It has, hasn't it? I quite enjoy it.
It's been a lovely show, and just remember, and I'll just say it one final time. Free postage on orders over £30. That is finishing. Depends when you're watching the show. A lot of you streaming, obviously, but it does finish kind of the end of December.
Yes.
Early January. It is coming to close that. So try and get your orders for over £30. You might only want to buy one house plant, not a problem, but anything else you want to buy from our website, anything, get it in your basket and you get free delivery.
Just make sure you put that code in, YGTV52, otherwise it won't unlock. You need that to unlock the deals, basically.
Right, we better give you the details of this beauty.
Love this beauty.
Now, my other half has got one of these in his office.
Yep.
And it's I'm not really allowed in the office. It's one of those rooms.
Yeah.
What are you doing
here? That's fine, you can have it.
Yeah.
Keep it.
I'm working. No, you're not.
I'll have the conservatory, thank you very much.
Yeah. But I can honestly say, out of all the plants in our home, it's probably the most neglected one.
Yeah.
But
it's indestructible.
it's pretty hard to.
It is. My story is, if you were watching earlier, you will have heard me say my husband had one of these. He had it from when he was at university. He is 40, he's nearly 50. So it's 30 years old,
he looks
basically.
50, doesn't he?
It's 30
Joke.
years old. Now, he did not care for it. He didn't look after it. It was in a pot, and it stayed in that pot for 30 years. He occasionally put a few drops of water in it. He never repotted it in those 30 years. It was one thin stem that had gone a bit windy at the top. It had a little tuft of foliage out the top. I took over the care of that plant. I broke it out of the pot. There was nothing left other than a root ball. I repotted it in our premium professional compost. And that one stem that was tall, it was about this tall, with a few little tufts at the top, has now, I promise you, it's that big.
And has it got new
It's got
growth?
it's got new stems coming out. It's got beautiful foliage. The old one is still there, but it's now got additional ones. That's why I'm saying that this one is completely indestructible.
And
if you kill every houseplant you've ever had, try this one.
And what I know is that if I do neglect ours and just don't water it enough, it just drops a few leaves.
It does, it just droops a little bit, and then you water it, and the next morning you'll get up and it'll be all perky
But
again.
I'm with you, they're really good. What a big size this is as well.
It's lovely. I mean, there's 3 stems coming out of here, and they are at different heights, so you get that lovely foliage, journey, that travel all the way down the plant.
Now again, I'd say bright position, but not direct.
Bright but indirect. So mine's in the bathroom, and it's a perfect spot for it because you've got the what's it called? The patterned windows, so it's frosted windows. So yeah, it is actually diffusing the light that's coming in there.
And by the way, if you buy it now, you will not have to pay any postage because you're spending over £30. And don't forget, if you are one of our club members, you've got your 10% discount as well. Now we are nearly out of time. Hope you've had, it depends on when you're watching us, but I hope you've had a great Christmas, New Year, whatever. We've got all the live shows in January, starting the 3rd of January,
yes.
Which is a Wednesday. And
10 o'clock.
Yeah, 10 to 1
Yeah,
on a Wednesday,
so, yeah.
7 on a Thursday, so we'll be live Thursday the 4th. And we've got the live shows here in the Potting Shed on Sunday the 7th, 10 till 2. And also our shows on QVC start then as well, don't they?
Yes, they do, yeah.
So the first one, I believe, is on the 6th, which also features a very special rose. I believe Greg Wallace is on that one.
I think he is, isn't
And I'm on the QVC on the 7th. You're on the Potting Shed. We separated on the 7th.
I know!
You're here, and I'm in QVC. But you're going to have somebody...
I'll be here, but we'll have somebody coming to join me.
Yeah, who's
We'll see
taller,
who
more...
it
Is it somebody taller, handsome, better looking?
We don't know yet. We don't know.
Hopefully not.
But I'll be going on to QVC later on in the month in January, so I'll be on 19th, 20th. We'll keep you up to date.
And I'm working with a tall blonde, I believe.
Let's leave you with the details of our yuccas, though. This one is the triple stem yucca, a really classic houseplant, absolutely easy. Another one that thrives on neglect. Don't water it too often. Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Just enjoy the beauty of it. It is so easy to look after this one.
Yeah, and structurally, architecturally, absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, real feature, this one.
I hope we've inspired you.
I hope so.
I think plants make such a difference. I know in our homes, we just love having house plants, and you want a few more.
I definitely want that one.
Yeah,
The
I want.
Calathea.
Me
Calathea,
too.
please.
You can order after the show. Use the code YGTV52. Spend over £30, and you will get free delivery as well. From Bex and myself, Shaun Ryan. Thank you so much. Lovely show.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah,
Enjoyed
and I
that.
learned a few of the long names as well. A few. You know me. I always love the common names.
I like the common names as well.
I do too. But for everyone here at YouGarden, have a fantastic New Year. Take care.